Now we're live on Twitch too. So nobody say the N word. The what do you call it? Yeah. So we're doing Community Day today. I like the event was listed as being portfolio reviews. We're gonna look at some art. We're gonna look at stuff from around the community. The plan was we're also gonna do a giveaway today because I want to make a habit of Friday Community Days. We do a giveaway. The thing I've been thinking a lot about is like how much of a pain in the ass it is to like play around and get started on digital art. I know a lot of you guys are like professionals at digital art, but I really do want to make this an inviting space for people to try it for the first time. And part of that is like I want to put tablets in people's hands. So I've got a collab stream lined up maybe for next week, maybe the week afterwards. With the Twitch streamer Kylina, and I already like bought her a tablet and sent it her way, and because she's somebody who does like variety streaming but has never done like digital art before, and I want to buy and send somebody a tablet today. So I was talking with Dustin about like what it would take to do a giveaway today. And so we're going to, sometime during the stream, somebody in Twitch chat is going to get a free tablet. We're going to get to that. I think it's the last thing we're going to do before we log out today is we're going to spin a wheel and someone's going to win a prize. And that's going to be a thing I want to do like every Friday. It's not going to be a tablet every Friday, but like I'm like trying to get a hold of Wacom to see if they want to send me some really good tablets. And then we can like, toss them into the crowd every week. And then, if not that, then we can find something else. Like Anya was saying that we should give away some traditional art supplies, which an idea I'd love. And, if somebody's a big fan of my art, there might be a day where we do an art giveaway. And I want to like, have that just be like a regular thing. Every week we do a Friday giveaway and like we have something, whether it's art supplies or art, something related to the community that people really want. And, they just get it. So anyways, I'm going to start by looking over some people's artwork. Actually, wait, should we? I'm wondering, Dustin, what do you think we should start with? Should we? There's a lot to go over. We have portfolio. We have portfolios in the portfolio review thing. I talked to Omega about talking a little bit about his current career situation, and then we have. I wanted to look over some of the stuff that's being posted in like. We have like a few things that are posted in our resources section, but it is a section that I think we can probably add a lot more to. I just finished getting brushes installed. This is something that I've been meaning to do forever. But Ash had uploaded her brushes like as like the very first thing. Ash brushes 2023, totally different from the sort of thing that I normally do. And so I just got those installed in my Photoshop. So I'm going to give those a try next time I do a study. Probably later today, probably while I'm offline, but I'll be back and like showing them off on Monday to show that I probably am really bad with them and I suck with them, and it's going to be fun. This tutorial about how to steal color grading was super fascinating because it's this incredibly technical. Oh man, we can potentially, if I late night want to stream, just sit around and watch YouTube tutorials and just react to them online. Doing tutorial reacts is probably not a bad idea for Twitch content, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like a mega like technical tutorial that I found to be really, really interesting because basically what it allows you to do is you can look at the color palette of a photo and take a sort of more neutral image and like procedurally transform it into that. Like perfect. I am not screen sharing on Discord. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. In the other channel. There it is. Now we got it. I was just in another channel and I had everything working. Okay. Where was I? Resources. I just realized that.
Just to be clear, it's the XP pen on the website that you're doing giveaways for?
Yeah, I'm going to be if you want to see the tablet that we're giving away, Huckleberry.art is where we're building the website. There's the digital art resources tab. These are some very basic. I want to do some more in-depth product reviews, but these are the kinds of tablets that I use. I haven't experimented a lot with the other options that are out there, and so I don't have like a really in-depth review of them yet. Something I plan on doing in the future, but we're giving away XP pens. So this is the kind of thing that is, to me, what feels like the best like entry point to be able to jump in if you are if you want to try out digital art for yourself. I think this is where to go. I'm going to get one of these for myself so I can try it out, but we're going to be giving one away at the end of the stream.
Oh, I have something about the giveaways because it's not letting me save the giveaway so that you could just start it. So it's on the Stream Elements site, and you just have to go to your dashboard, and under loyalty, there's a giveaways section.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because there's not like a create draft, and then I just save it for you, and you just start the giveaway. It's
well,
like
I'm gonna start it at the end. Wait.
At the end, okay.
I went to the Stream Elements site. What?
StreamElements.com.
Yeah, and then what? I'm not like logged in or anything.
Oh, okay. Let's get you
so
logged
how
in.
Is there a login here? Featured resources.
Yeah, there's one where just whatever you logged into Twitch with.
I don't know.
Because it'll have you the Twitch login.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have that browser open where you're logged into Twitch?
Oh yeah, you can't see my screen. It wasn't the whole screen. It was just Discord. Shit. Okay. Can you send me a link on Discord?
Yeah. Here we go. Let me send it to you.
Oh wait, no, that's not safe either. Fuck. It's like no good way of doing this. Can you email it to me?
You could switch it to a different scene. Just
switch to a different scene.
It could be like a blank screen or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you could just have like a be right back.
Could you
there we go.
That second
okay, now I can
put a painting. Could you put a painting
there.
in that second scene, Dustin?
It's Pete only has OBS. I can't do it remotely, so unfortunately.
Right. I'm just saying, is that an option for the second scene to be a static image?
Yeah. There could be a be right back scene or something like that. It's just that we don't have one.
We're not prepared for anything. We suck at this. I bought a.
This is normal.
I went and I bought a, what do you call them? The Stream Deck thing with the 15 buttons on it, so I'm going to be able to have total control.
Yeah, we'll set.
I'll
add that
be
to the list.
Captain in
be right back scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was having a meeting with Kylina, and she was showing that she's got like 30 scenes all prepared, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I should do that. All right. So door giveaway description.
So you're just going to put in tablet giveaway. We're giving out a tablet in the description, and then let me paste in the image for you. I'm going to copy that image from the website for the XP pen. There, I just sent you the image, so you could just download that and upload that back into the image, and then make the first ticket free.
Give everyone the first ticket free.
Because I just turned on the loyalty points. If we didn't make it free, no one would be able to enter the giveaway, I don't think.
Okay. Oh my god. We are so on the fly right now.
Yep.
It's not wait, dragging that oh my god, sometimes I hate Discord. I drag it out of Discord and it's not an image, it's like a website describing an image. Okay. All right, there's nothing bad in the DMs with you and me right now. It's just like I need to at least get in the habit of having some level of OPSEC going on here. Yeah, submit. Okay, great. Create and start. Subscriber luck. Subs get no special treatment. Okay, yeah. Send confirmation when buying tickets via chat. Okay, yeah. You don't have any recent giveaways.
Turn that. No, you don't need the or else chat's just gonna be filled with so and so bought a ticket for the giveaway.
Oh no, yeah.
You can disable that one.
Wait, what do I need to disable?
I think the you can uncheck everything else. Let me look here.
I started it, so it's like.
Oh, you already started the giveaway?
Oh wait, now I said. All right, I closed the giveaway, so now we got the giveaway's over and there's 0 tickets. Okay, one more try. One more try. We're so good at this, man. We're so good at this.
This is very normal.
Yeah, I only checked give everyone their first ticket for free.
Okay.
Was I supposed to uncheck something else to make it so it doesn't spam our fucking chat?
Yeah, just keeping the other 2 unchecked.
Ticket cost 20. Wait, should ticket cost be what? 0?
Yeah, 0.
0 maximum tickets per user.
One per user. Yeah.
Okay, that I definitely got wrong. So it's a good thing we did this.
Okay, yeah. So once you're ready to do that at the very end of the stream, you hit create and start.
Okay.
I wanted to get the stuff to you now because I actually have to head out in a bit for a haircut appointment.
Okay. All right. I think we're all set then.
Yeah, just keep that tab open, and once you're ready to let it rip, you're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it rip like a fucking Beyblade at the end of this stream here. All right. Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, in the future, I am going to like curate this a little bit. I need to create like a queue of stuff I want to look over. I just want to at least highlight today, like there are a lot of really good tutorials on here. It might be fun to do a like tutorial, like a React thing. Going over this, but I wanted to highlight the brush pack that Ash uploaded all the way up at the top here. It looks like Yuming Lee, who I have been recently praising quite a bit, has a brush pack. Wait, is this a free brush pack? Oh my god, it is. Yuming Lee's got a free brush pack up on Gumroad. That's over in the resource section also. I am also going to.
Let's go.
I'm fucking downloading Yuming Lee's brushes now too. I've been using. I mean, anybody who's been watching me do these studies has seen that I have like 5 brushes in my entire kit, and it's more or less like 2 brushes, and that's it. So. I am going to get these because I need to up my game and try out some new stuff because I'm getting old. I need to learn new tricks. Download yuminglee.abr. Hell yeah. So I'm getting those. I'm grabbing those personally.
I just got them as well. Might as well try them.
And then I know I paid $0 for these. I want to try it. I want to try it out. But like, if you really dig someone's brushes and they're giving them away for free, like, be generous if you've got a couple bucks to throw at them. If it's something that's super useful for you, I'm gonna give them a shot. And like, if it's something I actually stick with, I'm definitely gonna throw a couple of bucks over there. There's these are specifically for Krita. I'm pretty sure that the brushes for Photoshop and Krita are compatible with each other. Am I wrong about that? Wait, is Jazz? Is Jazz in the room? Is Jazz in the room with us right now? Should bring Jazz up on stage to ask questions. Invite to speak. Bah.
Unfortunately, you're in for disappointment. I use Krita, but I'm not a big learn everything about the tools person. I've never actually tried importing a
You're not big on
Krita.
You're not big on learning things.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing every time I pull something up in my browser and I bring it over the window, no one can see that. That's fucking awesome. It's good to know. Okay. So we got
Yuming Lee's brushes are Krita?
No. The Yuming Lee's brushes are for Photoshop. I'm looking at there's this David Leroy Beast posted these not Leroy.
Oh,
Revoy.
David Revoy.
Those are part of the those are part of default in Krita.
Those are default in Krita?
More recent version. Yeah, they're part of the default in the more recent versions. Kind of like how, what's his name?
Genghis also posted a
very
doc.
naturalistic brushes that were part of Photoshop. How they were someone else's brush pack, and they made it standard.
Oh, interesting.
Krita like works with David Revoix a lot. Like he's sort of one of the more successful artists that like uses Krita. Like, yeah. So he like does art for them and like his brushes or anything and that kind of
yeah. We got 6 Foot Ants brushes 2023. These are all free? I'm gonna visit the site and double check. Yeah, this is another full brush pack that's also free.
Just put a little Krita doc in Twitch chat if you want to check that for.
There's like a bunch of really great looking free brush packs that are in here in the resources. I'm gonna have to like, if I'm gonna really explore these, I'm gonna have to like install these one at a time and actually try to use them and stuff. Oh, yeah, Leonhardt just gifted a whole shitload of subs to a bunch of people. Thank you so much. This is huge. 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like $25 plus.
That's huge, man. Thank you so much.
And stuff. Yeah, thanks a ton, Leon.
But yeah, I recommend browsing through this. And if you guys have any that you really love, like if there's a free brush pack, there's the Greg Rakowski brushes. These are, I mean, he's legendary. People know him a lot for like him being the default name that was put in Disco Diffusion back in the day. So everyone who was using AI art was. And then Fancy Sauce also with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I was not anticipating this was going to be a big sub fest over here. So yeah, this is another one that I really want to give a shot to. So I'm gonna have to like before I'm going live, pick some of these out and give them a try and specifically see like if I can make any use out of them. Because historically, what happens is I pick up one of these brush packs, I install it, I can't figure out what any of them are supposed to do, and I go back to the 2 brushes that I've been using for like 20 years. And I think I could do better than that. I think my brain's getting bigger. I feel like a swelling in my head, and I'm sure it's a good thing. So I'm gonna give that a try starting next week. But if you guys want to try them yourselves, like go check that out and then share whatever you can. One of the things that's been happening in dailies that has been really cool is I've been seeing that like when I go and do one of my studies, I was posting the reference over in the chat, and then a whole bunch of people have been doing them along with me, the same one. So starting next week, also what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a place on the Discord where you get to pick, like, we're going to create these tracks. And the 4 tracks I'm thinking about are, like, figurative work, like this, landscapes, masterworks, and then, in honor of Jazz, we're going to have an anime track also. And so having one of the 4 images of one of each of those tracks posted at the beginning of the day, and those will be the images for the day. So you don't have to go hunt up your own reference images if you want to go and do studies and study along with people and be able to kind of compare your work against the other people that are studying in the community. It's so cool to see how different artists' style are coming through in each of these, because like I've been trying to put my own spin on them, but then Adam is over here always putting his like dark gothy heavy metal spin on every single one of them, and it's super interesting to me, and it's been inspiring for me to try to like break out of just copying the image as closely as possible and really like focus on what the image is of and see if I can add some level of interpretation to it, because I feel like that's something that could really be hugely instructive for me, and I recommend other people give it a shot too. Like it'd be awesome to see everyone like try to use this study time to be able to push their style as much as possible. And we're going to, with that being the thing, we're going to facilitate that as much as we can by like having these resources ready for everyone in the community at the start of every day. I've got a little bit of a morning routine going since like the kids are back in school and I'm waking up early and I'm in the office early in the morning at 6 a.m. And so I'm going to like make this as part of my like make coffee, check email, and I'm going to be like preparing folders full of these different image tracks and getting them like up to the Discord so that everyone's got something to draw from for that day's studies. Probably every weekday, the same days that I'm streaming. And so I want to get to some portfolio reviews because I know that's what people are most excited for here. I think they are. Where we got these portfolio submissions? Jazz, you were up on stage. Not Jazz. Omega, you were up on stage because you were like, we should talk today about my portfolio and what's going on with my shit. Like, can you get us started and where should I go to look at your stuff to like have this conversation?
It's there. It's in the portfolio submission.
Somewhere.
Near the top.
Okay.
Oh, you went past it.
What?
There it is.
Okay.
Right
But
there.
now I'm going to click on this and no one can see it. So I am going to switch my scene over to like, to this one. This should be fine. This is more or less fine. Okay. All right, great. I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to get a third monitor and have one just for Discord, I think. All right. Nathan Hale, that's your name. That's the first time I'm learning your real name.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have your name, like, SEO is always going to be your battle, and I'd rather not pitch my repertoire against an American Revolutionary War spy hero, so...
Fancy Sauce, who did just gift a stub, was saying that was voting for Fee Jodo to get a portfolio review. That's pretty convincing evidence. So maybe Fee Jodo is going to be up next.
I come to be next too.
Do you go by Nathan or Nate?
Nathan.
Nathan.
I mean, you could whatever. Pick your. It doesn't matter to me.
I just know everyone by their
You gotta
usernames
go.
these days.
You gotta go by Nathan Hale. It's such a classy sounding name.
Nathan Hale.
It is classy. I mean, you've got actors and priests, and there's a lot of people have a Nathan Hale. as
Nathan
their
Hale
name,
does
and
sound a little bit
lot
like a
of-
super spy. Gonna have to say that.
Yeah.
All right. So you, for your portfolio, you linked over to your art station. Do you have like a website?
I used to, and then I realized I wasn't getting enough value out of it, and so I stopped paying for it. But it's still under me, so I can like pick it up and get it back and running again.
Okay.
I just wasn't happy with like how much money it was draining versus the value it was giving out.
Yeah.
To me in return.
Because like you have these projects that are sort of transcending JPEGs, right? Like, I mean, this is one of the things that I think of when I think about you is that you are a multidisciplinary artist who is interested in, illustration stuff, but also interested in technical art, 3D modeling, animation. You were showing off like that you were building these background elements, not only like making them so that they could be animated, but like hand painting them in the style to reproduce the Ori background art, and figuring out you were saying in an earlier chat that you were figuring out what brushes the Ori team was using so you could use the same brushes to be able to reproduce the style perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying
That was actually really fun.
That's you're just like, yep.
Well, the thing is,
like
all you
everybody
have to do
does.
is like pull, like take like 5 images in which the artist does it a little bit more rough and loose. Like zoom in and see if you can like isolate like a spot where they just barely like tap their brush, and usually that's a good approximation of what like their brush thing is, and then you just like paint an image of the brush based on what you're looking at, and then you can use that and then dial in your settings afterwards.
Yeah, if this art thing doesn't work
way.
out, you could become like a bounty hunter or something, like, learn to
I
track
sniff up the
humans.
tracks and yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you've gone through and like done like in-depth research to try to figure out exactly how to reproduce the style, then pulled it off somehow, and then gone and built these a node-based procedural animation system to be able to animate these background elements.
and you can paint in, like you see the mushroom right there. You can like paint in red, green, and blue to control either the scale, distortion, or translation of the object to specific areas. So
I'm regretting bringing you on
this
stage first because now you're going to make everyone feel self-conscious that they are not doing enough. But you're like one of the only people I've met that is just sort of like casually, confidently, just like showing off this variety of different skill sets.
Well, I also think it's a little important for me to do it. Like, part of me thinks I've been gifted with a good brain, and then the other says like I've been gifted with an autistic brain that I turned into a gifted brain.
Well, gifted is pretty non-specific term, you know, like
exactly. Like when I was younger, like I had fantasies of like being either like an astronaut or a chemical engineer or like somewhere in which like technical repertoire was like always in the job description of what I chose, and I just didn't realize it. Another one was like an astronomer, like how many things an astronomer has to deal with on a technical basis to get the telescopes working properly is amazing as well.
I'm interrupting you. Meat Suit Mania just subbed with Prime. Thanks, Meat Suit Mania. Damn, what the hell's going on with you guys and subbing so much today? This is insane. Thank you all. Yeah, you were saying.
So technical stuff has always been something that I've been attracted to, just because I like learning. And when I saw Ori, like I was like, wow, digital art can be good, because up to that point the only digital art that I saw was photo bashed Star Wars style wedding photography.
I mean, there's so many things you could reach for like trying to bash digital art as a whole. Photo bashed Star Wars wedding photography was not where I thought you were going to go. I grew up on DeviantArt, so like for me, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog inflation porn is like what I actually reach for when I'm looking to denigrate my own community.
No, but that's what I was exposed to, and it wasn't until Ori that I saw like hand painted digital stuff that I was like, oh dang, like this is digital painting. I can see this. And it completely changed my view on it. And then I said, I want to do this. And so I kind of like pursued that. But then as I kept doing digital art, I felt dissatisfied with how like small that space felt to me. And it may be like there was just like more technicalities that I wasn't aware of at the time due to my skill level and the amount that I could decipher with what I was looking at. And so I started branching out into things that inspired me, which was Ori, and that had animated backgrounds and parallax and all these different animation things. So that's what I pursued, because that's what I was inspired by.
Did you do? Oh, the animation is by someone else. I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me you animated this too, because I tried to. I learned a little bit of animation in college, and I spent several semesters of multiple animation classes, and it's so fucking hard. It's like the sort of thing you could spend your whole life learning. So the idea that you were learning this at getting to this level on top of learning all these other skills, it would be difficult to believe. But but the thing I'm also observing here is that you are learning these skills, but you're also learning to cooperate with other people by like, are you commissioning Lasagna K, or just managing to like Shanghai them? And
so what I did was like I kind of like brought him on, and we did like some pieces together. And the thing is, like, as we were working more together, I approached him about like being paid. And the thing is, he's still in high school right now. He's still got a couple months left because
really?
He's in Malaysia. Yeah. So
oh wow.
Crazy talent. He's the crazy talent.
For a high schooler, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. So he's still got a couple months left because he's in Malaysia. So they don't get like summer vacation, which kind of stinks, but
Okay.
He was able to make it work so far. I approached him about like a payment agreement, and he went silent for a few days, and I got like really worried for a sec. But then he like got back to me saying, hey, like he thought about it and said that he didn't believe getting paid would make him more motivated to do the work. And so he kind of like turned down the payment. And I'm hoping to approach him later and say, hey, no, like you're gonna do a lot of work. Like I need you to be paid for this because, you know, it's one thing to do like one shot like this, which is absolutely amazing. It's another thing to do like 4 minutes of this.
You know,
That's a completely different workload.
One of my feelings about the, you know, paying people who are collaborating with you is that like when there's no pay, sometimes it's difficult to tell what's motivating people to participate in a thing, and there may be unspoken expectations about who owes who what and why. And when you can put a dollar value on stuff, it sometimes makes the relationship a lot cleaner, because then you can say, well, you know, you did this work and you did a great job, and I want to like, you know, I want to make your life easier. I want to like, you know, show off your work, give you credit, like introduce you to people, like, you know, those kinds of, you know, informal things, but also like, you know, there's like, those are like a bonus. And like the thing that you're doing is not, I don't owe a blood debt to you. Like I'm paying you. And that is the thing that we explicitly owe to each other. You are owing me the work. I am owing you the money. If that's settled, then we're back at square one. We can just, you know, continue to be professionals, like we continue to be friends, whatever, but at least that interaction is squared out. It's like, it's not just some invoice that's being left open, you know, some emotional debt that is sort of being left unaddressed. Like it closes the relationship in a way that's very clean. And if you're friends with somebody online and they're doing work with you and you are able to pay them, then it prevents that situation from drifting into like false expectations, like, or unspoken expectations that you may not agree on down the line. And like, I feel like it makes things a lot easier. And so there's the part where you like, you want to support other creative people and it's the best practice and stuff like that. Or a young person, you should tell them, hey, you should, you know, this is something you should grow to expect, is that you should be paid for your time. That's good. But there's a bunch of reasons why it's a good idea to pay someone in a situation like this.
Yeah. But then also like he is from Malaysia, so there's like a bit of a cultural difference there than here in the States. And so like I'm trying to learn a little bit about that culture and realizing, dang, this is a little bit difficult because they're you know, if you do something good for someone else, they feel like they have to like repay that gift. Like there's a gift guilt
right
on the receiving end. And so I don't want to like inflect that, and so I'm trying to respect his decision. But man, that's I'm definitely gonna like keep communicating with him, because I find that it's not difficult communicating with him, and it's better to communicate than trying to build up a story in your head of why he hasn't responded to your message yet, or why he hasn't like finished the thing yet. And it's like, oh, I'm still in school, like, and I'm like, oh, right, different school system, different part of the world. Okay,
but
cool.
I find it striking, like one of the skills I've learned over the years, because like I've started and run a couple of different businesses. I worked as a lead at the last studio job that I had. Working with people in other disciplines, whether it's with software developers or animators, is like a skill unto itself. And so I feel like you jumping into that space along with you learning the technical stuff is yet another skill track that complements the like painting and modeling stuff that you're doing. That like there's a lot of jobs throughout the entertainment industry that require like somebody to know a artistic discipline but also build up their skills as a manager. And there's always a question of like how do you get into be an art director, or how do you get into be a lead at a studio? And it's like, well, you need to have a diverse stack of skills that allows you to like cross these kinds of boundaries. And you know, I'm not sure, it's not the sort of thing that they have a college program for. It's something that people just sort of find their way in on. Like for me, I was like in college, I was like setting up clubs like for, you know, teach Photoshop, like before I was trying to like build an online school or like do a podcast or anything. It's just like I was always gravitating towards that, and that ended up leading to me having the like always giving art feedback to people meant that I was qualified to like work as a senior or a lead in the studio I was in, because communicating to other artists about their art ended up being a part of my skill set. So I think that this is a really interesting, like, you having, like, even though you didn't animate this, the fact that there is this level of animation in there is like proof of your skills as somebody who can communicate across disciplines. So like, I mean, you've got this new job recently where you're at a small startup where you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. It seems like a great fit for you, because I see that, like, that we were talking about like what job positions even make sense for someone like you. Because if you were to just be a background artist and just be doing this job all day, I think you would go crazy.
I would agree with you. I do. Because it's happened before. Like I've experienced that, like trying to stay in only one lane, and I do go crazy eventually.
Yeah. And
it may take like 4 months, but like it happens in short order.
But like it's sort of like, in order to fulfill those multiple different disciplines, like you need to either be an owner or a lead, where you're in a combination like creative and management role in order to be able to like address all these different disciplines. Like maybe at a smaller studio, or this is the full shot. Damn. I cannot believe how many different and you've got like these particle systems in here too. Oh my God. I cannot believe that you managed to get all of these different disciplines completed at a professional skill level simultaneously for an unpaid prestige project, like basically in your spare time. This doesn't make any sense. Nobody's doing this. Nobody does this.
Actually, that's part of why I did it, is because no one does this. And here's the head of the studio for Moon Studios saying, "Hey, good job."
Yeah.
So I got like approval from the most important person when it comes to this.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, obviously. I mean, like,
himself saying like, yeah.
Ori's got a big fan base, so I'm sure there's lots of people who are making fan projects and whatnot. Somebody sees like my Hollow Knight fan art and they go, "Wow, that's a really interesting, different painting of Hollow Knight." But that's as far as it ever goes for me. Like, this is like a really rare thing. Like nobody's doing this. So you were like, "I need to talk to you today about what's going on with me," and I'm like, "Why?" But so like, here's my question to you: what's going on? Why? What's happening?
What's going on?
Why do you need to talk to me? It's like you have such a clear vision of yourself, and like you have all these curiosities, and you're pursuing them, and you're accomplishing stuff in those spaces, and it's like it's going really well. You're getting validation from the people who made like your very favorite thing in the world. You've gotten employment recently that seems like a good fit, and if it's not, then like you're just going to pivot from that to some other place that's going to need somebody who's a multidisciplinary genius. So like what do you want? What do you want to hear from me? I just paint. I only know painting.
You know business too.
I know painting. I know business. I know I'm pretty good at marketing sometimes. Like but what do you want to talk about? You were so forceful about it when you walked in today. I was like confused.
Well, okay. So the thing is, like, the way I view myself, and I'm a person that's highly convincible. What's the word? Like someone who can like be steered by other people. And so I have to like choose the people that I talk to very carefully. But the thing is, at that same time, I'm trying to build my vision of myself and where I want to be in the future. And it's like building a little like Lego set of a building, or maybe just a building in more general terms. And you look at me and say, "Man, your foundation is awesome. I see you got your studs are going off. You got the framing of the roof. Like, bro, like this is a beautiful house. I see this already." And the way I see it myself is I have all these walls that don't completely make sense to me because I'm in the middle of it. I can't see it from the outside.
Sure.
And so having someone like look at it and restate what they see
all right
back to me, helps me gain a better perspective that I could not see myself.
Okay, so let me expand on the context, because I've just given you a lot of context about the way that I see your work, mostly in the form of effusive praise. If you were to come to me and say, I really want to get in the convention game, I want to start doing artist alley tables, because I've heard there's big money selling prints at anime cons, I'd be like, okay, yeah, it's a track, I get it, but like, if you were to show me this painting and say, I want to make big money at anime cons, I'd be like, well, okay, there's like a larger conversation here about, what's your voice? What kind of work do you want to make? What's the fan base for this? What else do you have? And it's like, it's not the kind of illustration that necessarily works to like sell a print. Like you might sell a few of them, but it's unlikely that you're going to have be selling $10,000 a weekend doing the con circuit with like the illustrations that I'm seeing on your ArtStation right now. They are technically very strong, but they're not like the drawings underneath don't have like a strong enough composition to really like lend themselves to something that's like being sold as a print, just as an illustration on its own. Like it's a really strong start, but there's like some amount of personal exploration that you would have to go through in order to build up like towards that as your career goal. But it doesn't matter, because like you've built what's really good about these paintings is like your technical prowess. Like you are really good at just getting in on the details and making really solid rendering, and you have like command over like your ability to do color and lighting inside as a digital painter, and get in and do tiny little textures, and you have a clear set of like voice and interests. So like if you are missing a couple of pieces of what it would take to be a like independent illustrator, but like then we go back to your portfolio, and after these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 not enough illustrations, like half a portfolio of pretty good but not quite there illustration, we get this thing, and it flips the whole room upside down because you have encapsulated in this one post is a whole suite of skills. That this whole thing of this planning, this level of planning in detail and storyboarding, is a whole skill set that I have never wrestled with. You fully storyboarding all this stuff out. This doing all these like color palettes for it all. Character design, all the different character designs for your thing, and then 3D modeling it. And it's like, these are not the skill sets that you need to be like an indie illustrator selling prints online and at conventions, right? Mm-hmm. This is leading towards a completely different industry. Yeah. Like, and you are using those skills that you are strong with in digital painting in conjunction with 5 other discrete skill sets that you have gotten pretty far with. You're not like, I don't know them all well enough to be able to judge how good you're doing with the particles on this, or how good you are at managing animators, or how good you are at storyboarding or writing. So like, I'm just going to assume that they're about the same level as what you're able to do with digital painting, and say that you like, maybe you're like a B plus at all of them, which if you can be a B plus at right. like 3 different like skills, puts you in very strong position. And like being able to stack up multiple different disciplines in a way that they like work with each other and like can make you very, very valuable to other people. And like very valuable to somebody who's like, trying to make a small video game studio and needs all their employees to be subject matter experts on a lot of different things simultaneously. Like, you're like a unicorn to those people. There's like, most everybody is drilling down and being a specialist, and that's the right choice for most people. And you are like stacking things up in this incredibly strange way that is like making you a very, very valuable talent to the right companies, and maybe even potentially putting you in a position that like down the line when you're more comfortable with like, if you're more financially comfortable and you have like more interest in like if you ever develop an interest in the business side of things, like you could potentially like, you know, make your own game studio and just like, or animation studio or whatever, and build stuff like along with a partner or, you know, a set of employees to like build your own projects, because this many technical skills stacked on top of each other, it's like allows you to produce a multidisciplinary piece of art in a way that like 99.9% of people who are on ArtStation will never be able to do. I mean, to me, that's just apparent that like you are in a different, like you're playing a different game than everyone else on this website. And like, you know, like there's a lot of jobs in the industry that require people to just be really good at one thing. They just need to be a good animator or a painter or a modeler or whatever. And a lot of those people get held up and used as examples of like, this is what the peak of being an artist looks like. But yeah, that's not you. And you're just, you know, you're doing you, and you don't need me to tell you that necessarily. I just want to be encouraging because I want to see you continue to like go down this path and succeed along all these, you know, figure out, I want you to find a way that like you're going to actually be able to use multiple disciplines together to do work that's satisfying to you, that is like, you know, professionally and financially fulfilling, because I think if it's just a matter of you finding the right spot. And if you find that right spot, you're going to be in great shape. So well, I hope that the work on the blog goes that direction. And if you ever get a sense that it doesn't, like, you know, consider it really seriously, and like, you know, don't build your whole identity around the blog if it's just something that you just, you know, got started with recently.
Right. I'm still like figuring out like how their game engine works with different like gameplay mechanics and how that works like under the hood, so I can like come to them with a nice rounded out style, or at least like different tracks that they could take as a company to like move the style forward. Yeah, understanding the technical complexities that go along with it, and say, okay, we could take down this path, but we're going to have to make these sacrifices, or we could take down these paths and it's a different set of sacrifices in order to like, you know, move it forward. Because I do think that there's, you know, room for improvement, but I don't have quite enough knowledge on it yet. So I'm holding back on my ideas yet, because
but if
something, a small piece of information could completely change my process on addressing the issues, because some of these issues are like directly contending against each other between style and the tech side.
Yeah. But like if like, you know, at any game studio, if there's a plan to like make a game that looks a certain way, like somebody needs to know how all the pieces fit together and demonstrate that it's technically possible, and give an example to the people who are going to be working on it what the things should look like. And then when the work comes in, like you say, okay, here's what the style of the game should look like, and you send out requests to a bunch of contractors to go, you know, create background elements and like, you know, put in particle effects and ask for, Smalley LC, thank you so much for the sub. If you go and hire a bunch of contractors that are going to like try to like do all this stuff, when the work comes in, somebody needs to be able to qualify the work. You need to be able to look at it and say like, this is good work, this is bad work. I was having this conversation with Jay yesterday. We were talking about like, hey, if somebody does a model for a mini and it's engineered poorly, the modeler did a bad job with the engineering, but the person who is like hiring that modeler should be able to recognize that the engineering was done poorly and be able to kick it back to them and say, I have these problems with the engineering, I want you to fix them. And in order to like ask the people who are working on the extended arms of the team, all the specialists, somebody needs to be able to recognize whether or not they're doing a good job. And in order to do that, you need to know enough about their discipline to be able to tell whether or not their work is of high quality. So like you're sitting at this nexus between all these different disciplines, and you've learned enough about them to maybe not be like an A plus like standout talent at any of them, but you can set standards for a team, and you can look at the work that's coming in from that team and tell those people whether or not their work is done to spec and it's of high quality. And like, and if there's ever any tweaking that needs to happen,
degree that you could earn.
Yeah, and like, there's no college course for being able to do that. Like, that's just something that you have to like have a curiosity about, and your level of curiosity is sort of like through the roof. Like, I mean, you're not just putting. I mean, you're putting me to shame too. Like, this is like nobody. I don't know anybody. I've like in my many years of like working. I worked in the game industry for a while. I've been around plenty of professional, creative people over the years. I don't know anybody that's got this many disciplines under their belt that's like demonstrating them simultaneously, especially for free. This is crazy, man. So, anyways, that's my take. I don't know. I still don't know what you wanted to hear today. This has just become an hour-long commercial for the Nathan Hale like ArtStation page. And maybe for future advertisement for The Bog, you know, pre-order on or wish list on Steam or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to move on to somebody else. Thank you so much. Like, anytime I get a chance to highlight your work, I always enjoy it because it's like, yeah, you've got a really unique thing going on. It's super great to see.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep being unique. Don't worry.
I don't think that there's any chance you're not going to be. So, Fijoto, are you in the chat? Let's see, lecture hall here. I'm gonna bring you up on stage because could be up next.
His portfolio is the very first one in the portfolio review.
All right. Portfolio review submissions. Yeah, you were on it up front before I like you. There was like I had to be like, oh, by the way, at everyone, like, could you post your portfolio? You were already here. What? Why are you so on it? What's going on? Why are you paying so much attention?
So a few things like I got laid off back in 2020 when COVID hit.
Uh-huh.
And so I started freelancing, doing like video explainers and like really gross like vectorized image kind of stuff for like it's kind of I don't know, low level kind of. You'll see this kind of advertisement where it's like vector people kind of chit-chatting or whatever, and there's voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to make kind of stuff. It's never anything I wanted to do, so I'm trying to shift my career in a direction of illustration and trying to do like stuff for maybe video games or if I'm being honest with myself, like my end-all be-all thing is like I want to be like an independent artist, and I want to do cons and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm just having trouble like getting any kind of traction, doing any kind of like I don't know, just kind of getting noticed, I suppose is what it is. And like also I kind of feel like my portfolio is just kind of a mishmash of things that I want to do versus things that I have done. So it's like the styles are very inconsistent. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Well, I mean, mishmash-wise, you're not in terrible territory. Like, you were saying that, and I was like, nah, they're all pretty. And then I'm like, yeah, you got a couple of different tracks here.
Right.
Like, you got a couple different tracks. That's not bad. That's like, everyone's got a couple of tracks. That's just that's a light editing pass, and you're basically there. I'm noticing that you're good at making a website. Do you have experience doing websites, like, professionally?
No, so this is just Squarespace. I went to school for graphic design.
Uh-huh.
And so I was a designer for a studio for about 2 years, and like the majority of like what I've done with my career is just graphic design stuff. And you'll see that in like some of the lower works of stuff. But yeah, I mean like that's kind of it. Like I know how to make like a pretty presentation for a page and stuff like that, but it's not like something that I want to do long term, you know. Like it's gonna help, but it's not gonna do. It's just not what I want to do.
Well, I mean, those Squarespace templates, they go a long way, but like, yeah, I think what I'm seeing is like you are throwing in really good graphic design work on top of the totally serviceable templates that Squarespace is providing, and it's elevating it in a way that is pretty striking. I mean, I've seen a lot of artist websites, and yours stands out as being a particularly good one.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about different tracks, like you doing like product design is like obviously very different from the work that fits more in line with you being like a illustrator. I mean, obviously they use like a lot of the same talents. You seem pretty qualified to be doing graphic design and product design stuff, but it's not a matter. Is it a matter of like you can do it? You can get a job in it, but you just really, really need to switch careers, or, you know.
It's sort of more of like I've done this stuff, but it doesn't do much for me. Like,
okay.
So I want to follow my passion, which is like I want to do illustrations of like characters or whatever, or like I have like a sort of an IP that I started in college, and I just kind of went nowhere with it.
Uh-huh.
So like I want to build something for myself, like so I don't have to rely on other companies basically to try to like ping me for doing this or that.
Is this official art for Gravity Circuit, or is this fan art?
This is fan art.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is based off of a Mega Man 02 pose, but that's a whole different other thing.
I love Mega Man, but there's so much Mega Man I don't recognize most of the stuff that's out for it. Though I do always like try to like keep my ear to the ground when it comes to indie game stuff, so I recognize Gravity Circuit.
Dude, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I got to check it out. I haven't played it. Is this an original design of yours?
Yeah.
This is a great design and like beautifully presented.
Sweet, thanks.
This is a very, very different look from what I'm used to seeing from people who are like in the indie illustration scene, because like a lot of it is, I mean, stuff that looks like my stuff, like full frame background, everything's painted. That's not universally true, but I think that's what people expect when they're thinking about that, as like sort of an offshoot of something that might work for maybe Magic the Gathering or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is this like mix of like a kind of illustrative thing where you've got these really strong drawings and interesting designs, but done in a much more graphic way. I think is a really unique approach. If you were wanting to open that up as like a major wing of your business, you need more of it. Like, I don't think it's impossible. Like, it's one of those things where it would really help if you had gone to some shows. Have you gone to some shows and tried to sell? Like, have you dipped your toe into any of that stuff? Like,
so like the top like few rows of what you're looking at here is like I've done all this over the summer. Like, I've like my work has basically just stopped since May, and like so me and my wife talked about it, and she was like, okay, we'll just work on your portfolio, try to put in some pieces of like things like of work that you want to get, and then like let's see what happens after that. And so now I'm at the point of like, okay, I've done all this soul searching kind of work, right, where I'm doing like all these character designs and stuff. But like now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I need to try to find some work trying to do this kind of thing. And so that's another thing that I'm trying to work on. But also like I've never been to any cons. I've never been to any circuit that like I can sell artwork at. And, like, right now where I'm at financially, it's not like I can like invest like a couple grand into getting a whole table set up or anything like that,
Yeah, that's like one of the big things being indie. Like when I went indie, I had 2 years worth of money saved up. So it's like I had was a primary earner for my household. I had a little kid and then another kid on the way. So it was like pretty risky, but I had saved up enough money where if I made $0 for 2 years, I would have to go crawling back for a job. But I could go 2 years of like just keeping things pretty lean with the household and get by. So there was enough money to invest in trying to do this, and enough like money saved up to be able to like take a real run at it and have some runway to be able to like see if I can get it to take off. If you don't have any kind of savings, the idea of like switching careers away from something that you are already good at and successful with, in order to take a moonshot on like, betting on yourself. It's like, I want everyone to succeed in the way they want to succeed. And like when somebody wants to go indie and make it on their own, I'm always supportive of it. But I do not want to encourage anything that would put you at risk financially, especially if there's like other people involved. You just like the people I know that have given it a shot, like in many cases they have very, very low financial needs, or they have very large savings, and like that's the way that they're able to sort of invest in their business early on. I never want anyone to try to like take a shot at being indie and then like be left in a situation where they are going to go through extraordinary hardship because it didn't work out right away.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm not trying to do that. Like I'm not trying to like I said, like I don't have the money to do that, so that's not something that I can do right now. Like at some point, whenever I do like accumulate that sort of like investment kind of capital or whatever you want to call it, I'd like to take a shot at it, but as of right now, I kind of just need work, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing is like the indie space, there is no work. That's sort of the nature of it. Is like you don't get work. The presumption is that a really good illustration like this is worth money. So instead of going out there in the world and like finding somebody who will pay you, to like take the ownership, you treat this as an asset. It's like this is like owning a rental property. This is your real estate right here. This is your asset in your portfolio. So it's not like a professional portfolio where you're like, here, look at how good I am at drawing. This is your financial portfolio. You're like, this image here is worth $10,000 because I'm going to be printing it on a T-shirt. I'm going to be printing it on paper prints. I'm going to be making like a pin, like a enamel pin version of it, and I'm going to take it to places where people buy these things, and I'm going to sell them. And over the course of the next 5 years, I'm going to sell $10,000 worth of merchandise of this illustration, and therefore it's worth $10,000 to me. But that presumes that you have a business structure that's able to exercise that value. And like, if all that sounds like a bridge too far, like, which I think it probably most artists I know do not want to start and run a business. They just don't. Like, and so they will leave huge amounts of money on the table. Like they'll like do an illustration that's seen by millions of people because it's part of like cover for a popular book, or like it's like in some popular game, and I'll be like, wow, you could make $100,000 selling mouse pads of that tomorrow, and they'd be like, oh my god, I can't even get started on it. I don't know, don't really want to get involved in the business side. So the people I know that like are in the indie thing, they're really interested in figuring out ways of like sort of like alchemy, like pulling the money out of the JPEG. You have this brilliant JPEG, but it doesn't matter like what another artist or art director thinks of it. It's like you have to look at it as like an asset that can be like sort of teased apart and pulled into these forms that are like, financially valuable. And that is that's a different problem to solve from like I need to make a good picture. Some people I know, they have like a partner who is like their their husband or wife is like the business person and they're just an artist and they just like draw the pictures and then they've got someone in their life to go and help them take those steps. While others, they just have this dual brain that they love the business and they also like making the art. I'm one of the dual brain people. I find that we're in the minority. Do you suspect that this is the direction you want to go? Is this like a big part of you wanting to go indie, is like your interest in business?
Yeah, like I do have a big interest in like trying to figure out ways of like you said, like creating like a piece of work and then trying to figure out ways to like get the mileage out of it. So like doing like bookmarks or doing pen designs and like doing like a variety of sizes of prints or whatever. Like that stuff like sounds really cool and engaging to me. Like I want to be able to do that stuff, but like it's just not in the cards for me right now.
Okay.
So
if you want to build up towards it, there is a path to build up towards it slow. But what typically happens is like you need to have other work while you're building up to it. So like the safe path is like you get a graphic design job that's like a 9 to 5. You are building websites for corporations. You hate it. And then nights and weekends, you are like setting goals for yourself to make sure that like once a week or once a month or whatever your cadence is, you're finishing a new piece that is the sort of piece that you're going to want to take on the road in merchandise. And then you look at for conventions that are local in your area. What do you feel comfortable talking about what city you live in?
So I live like an hour outside of New Orleans.
Okay. So you find when is like so you find like either the Anime Con or the Comic Con that's happening in New Orleans, like whatever the bigger one is, and you look up Artist Alley table prices, and you set aside the $300 or whatever it's going to take to be able to rent a table at one of those cons. And this is something you do 9 months to a year in advance because like the signups for these events tend to be about 9 months out from the event. So you need to be planning usually about a year ahead of time to know that you want to go to it. And then, you don't need to invest in a giant setup. You don't need to invest in tons of different like product categories. But getting prints made is cheap. So if you have like the inventory of images that you think would make for a coherent setup, obviously you wouldn't bring any kind of like wedding commissions or, pieces that are of wildly different styles. You'd want to try to keep it in like one style. So I really like these solid color background pieces. Like you are establishing a really coherent look to your work. If you edit it down to just the pieces that are like, that fit together in the style. I think these most recent ones really do fit together quite nicely. Some of them I like more than others, but I tend not to try to advise people on which of their pieces are going to sell well because I can never figure it out. It's impossible to figure out what an audience is going to like in advance. So what you would do is you would print out, you'd prepare probably around 10 pieces. You'd bring it out to that event. You'd get the prints made online at the place I used to go to is called MGX Copy. They changed their name. I think mgxcopy.com still forwards over there. They're called Printfinity. And Printfinity, you can get like, let's see, we want posters, mini posters. 11 by 17 and 12 by 18 are pretty standard sizes. Let's say 11 by 17 is super standard at cons. One design, say you're going to get 20 copies of it, right? Single-sided, full bleed, no coating, no round corners. What are we looking at? Why is this not giving me a quote? Refresh quote. Oh, we want probably a heavier paper. Maybe like a 100-pound mat.
Yeah.
You're looking at $10. It's like 50 cents each to stock these, right? 11 by 17 prints. That's crazy because the price for something like this ranges anywhere from like 20 to 60 bucks for 50 cents each to stock them, which means that like you go to these conventions and like you don't end up having to like pay back the cost of like stocking print inventory. You buy some like plastic bags, some backing boards or whatever. Those are cheap too, pennies. And you've got yourself like inventory for, to make like a few $1,000s worth of inventory for, a few $100. In like, you look at the cost of the table as like marketing cost, and then you can, the inventory is fairly cheap to get set up. And from there, you take those profits and you roll them back into the business. If you want to start doing a pin run, you can get it funded through Kickstarter. Pin campaigns on Kickstarter do really well. If you look around for enamel pins, what is it doing? There's always people running enamel pin campaigns. Some of them are based off of some of them are just straight up IP theft, like this Hunkai Star one right here. While other ones are a little bit more conceptual. Mushroom axolotls. Okay, this person looks like they're going to make $1,000 worth of sales selling this one weird axolotl mushroom design. So the chances that here's some angel pins or whatever, $26,000 for doing these simple angel designs. So like this absolutely overlaps with your skill set. If you do a Kickstarter to fund the production of a product like that and bring it along to that anime con along with your cheaply made prints, you can see how you don't need to dump thousands of dollars in up front in order to like do this. The reason why it's not free money is A, it's going to take a shitload of time, and B, you have to plan these things a year in advance. So like if you decide that the local con in New Orleans that you don't need to spend any money on travel is like the place you're going to do it, you're only going to have one event planned for the entire year, which means that if you ever want to scale that up, you need to start planning to sell at a bunch of different events that are going to require you to travel and spend more money on the business to do it. Something that you said you don't have the financial ability to do right now. So you'd have to sort of ramp up more slowly and pick away at the edges first. Well, I'm getting some. Is this some tea? Coffee. Oh my God, yeah.
I am really tired. I thought you want me to.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I just got wife just dropped off some coffee. This is nice. So
Nice.
do you? I think that like it looks like based off of the flow of your work here, you're moving away from doing some private commissions of graphic design to stuff, and you're going through a little bit of a rocky transition, but it seems like you're kind of poking out on the other end of it. Do you have any questions for me about your work?
Although you put me on the spot.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
see.
I mean, that's the show.
Right. I mean, can I just pick your brain for a second?
Yeah.
So this illustrations page is a little bit taller. So do you just kind of scan over it and kind of pick out some highlights of what do you think that I do well? What do you think that I don't do so well? I think because it's like Omega said, it's easy to know what I think about things, but it's difficult to kind of I don't know.
It depends on who you ask, and the way I look at stuff, there's a lot of different styles I like. Honestly, the pieces I like most are the ones that are here towards the top. So I get the sense that we're in sort of agreement about which pieces we both like the most. It's not a matter of quality. Because okay, if you were going to be doing this looks like a commission, private commission for a wedding or something, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Great, I called it. So this is not going to sell to anybody else. This is valuable to two people. And this guy's one of them, and then she's the other one. And so it's okay, so as a demonstration of your skills for more wedding commissions, this is fine. But if we're evaluating this based on like, hey, what do I think is this like a portfolio that's going to do really well at a convention? Obviously, this is not going to sell well at a convention. Nobody wants a print of this other than these two people. So
I mean, he's pretty handsome though. Come on.
I guess sure.
Anyways,
but it's like, and then you've got this thing which is like shows like a totally different set of skills, and it shows that you could potentially do some really interesting comic work, and some like whether you want to make your own comic IP, like that's a totally different business, and that's a totally different set of skills from like being an indie illustrator going on the road. Like if you were to be releasing pages every week and making a Patreon for it, and it's a web comic, and like you're doing a vertical version that's going on Webtoon and trying to build an audience for people who read your comic for free and then monetize that audience down the line all online, totally different business case.
sure, yeah.
And it's just like, am I supposed to say, well, this is an 8 out of 10 comic page, and this is a 9 out of 10 wedding portrait, therefore you're an 8.5 artist. Like, it's the things that you're showing are all so disparate from each other that it's not useful to compare them. And so, like, my first reaction to it is like, I wish that you would like separate these into separate galleries at least, or in a more extreme version, just be like, just hide all the stuff that you don't want to do as work anymore. So if you don't want to do wedding portraits, dump these two pieces. I think that your more graphic style, where like everything kind of fills to the edges without any lines, I think it looks better than your sort of digital ink and watercolor style pieces that are a little bit more detail oriented. I think that your more graphic looking stuff building on top of your history with graphic design, I think is super good and unique. And I like it more than this. So I would dump all of these also, even though I do love Secret of Mana as well.
Okay.
And it's like, if you wanted to do Secret of Mana pieces in this style, go for it and throw them in. I like you have a lot of personality in your work. It's more all ages. I think when you start trying to go more grim and dark, I think you're probably showing less of your strengths. So this is not my favorite piece from your portfolio, but it's like, if you were to show me a portfolio that was like 12 pieces that were of this quality, that were all kind of in the same vein, I'd be like, yeah, you got a real thing going on. But when I see it in context with something that you're better at, it makes me just want to throw it out of the portfolio. So
Interesting. Okay.
I would probably throw out everything. Everything besides these 5. But then who knows? You take this to a con and it's your bestseller. I would shrug my shoulders and go like, "Yep, it's hard to tell." Some pieces like strike people because they have specific individual interests. Or like, there could be a whole bunch of people at a fantasy con that all like dragon people that kind of look like turtles, and you've got that market cornered. Like, who knows? Doing a bunch of indie game stuff was an idea I had once. I thought that would be really cool because I love indie games, and so a kind of like. But then you also with IP stuff, like if you are borrowing from, a famous Japanese IP that you grew up with, is a very different kind of proposition than maybe like doing bootleg merchandise from an indie IP that like they're technically not that much larger than you, even. When I was trying to like decide what I was going to do early on, one of my ways of avoiding doing my own IP was I was trying to do licensing deals like this, where I was going to some indie game developers and saying, I'll make posters for you and then I'll sell them. I want to make officially licensed posters of your IP that I'm going to sell. And they told me to fuck off. Like, I found it really difficult to like get them to be excited about the idea of me basically licensing their IP for merchandising, and I didn't feel comfortable doing it without their permission.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really cool piece, but I think that like when you're talking about using intellectual property that's much larger and like is kind of like nostalgia related is very, very different from something that is like independently owned and like currently on the market. They're trying to also merchandise their own IP, and you're kind of bootlegging off of them in a way that feels very different. So, cool piece. Maybe a good like way of like, post this on their subreddit to get people to your website. But like, yeah, I wouldn't sell this.
No, I wouldn't try to sell that either. Yeah. I mean, they've like posted it on Twitter and like it got a lot of traction and stuff like that. So I'm super grateful for that.
Great. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's good for. Fan art can be awesome for gathering people to your socials and to your website and stuff. So keep peppering that in if you enjoy it. Sure. I really love this piece. I think I'm imagining a artist alley table that has a lot of these like, big color blocks with like cool, unique fantasy creatures that like this makes a really elegant kind of wall decoration. I think for a certain type of person, it could be really, really appealing. So, I don't know. That's my favorite, but that doesn't mean anything as far as like whether or not it's genuinely valuable. That's like gonna have to be a whole personal journey for you to explore. But yeah,
I mean, like out of all of my most recent pieces, like that's the one that's kind of like gained the most traction.
Oh, great.
I've gotten I have a few ideas of like why that might be the case. But
it's a really good drawing. I mean, we can start there.
Yeah. I think I just need to do some like sit down and try to like figure out like the trajectory of like where I want to go, I guess.
Great.
Quick question: can you scroll down a little bit more? So I've got some paintings below this.
Oh, I didn't even notice them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there more? What's going on? Prints available. That's nice. Have you sold any?
So that castle one on the left, I had like a stock of some prints of that, and like I sold out. Like it was only like 10.
Sure.
But, like I sold them for $50 a pop, and made a little bit of a profit. But that's kind of it. Like,
where did you?
I have an in-print store.
You sold them. You sold 10 copies of this off your website?
No, off of Etsy.
Off of Etsy. Oh, you got an Etsy store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
So that's just saying like if
you got
want,
imprint
like,
also.
Yeah.
Imprint's impossible to make money on, I think.
Yeah, I had it so that like in case somebody wants something, like they can like
just
get it off of there real quick, and then like kind of monitor like if anything's like blowing up or whatever. But yeah, I haven't had much luck.
They just close your shit. Oh, God damn it. Wait.
No, this has been super helpful. Like I think my most
if you can sell 10 copies of a print on Etsy, that's an awesome sign.
Yeah.
I think in addition to whatever else you're doing, keep stocking stuff on Etsy. Most of Etsy sales come through the search algorithm, which means that you don't need to be responsible to post about it on social media. You can seed it to a degree, but like you can get basically free sales by just sort of having stuff available on Etsy on the side, which is great. Yeah. It's like easier to do when it's like a search term that people are looking for, like a familiar IP that maybe they're going for. Like fan art is easier to sell on Etsy than personal work. I know some people that sell on Etsy with personal work, but in those cases they are supplying the traffic. They're not relying on the search algorithm to provide the traffic. So I don't know how you managed to sell 10 copies of this on Etsy. Were you pushing people to the site?
I wasn't pushing people to the site. I think at some point, like I was watching one of your One Fantastic Weeks or something, and somebody had some insight about like how to kind of game the system for Etsy, and I think it was something to the effect of like in the title you need to put in like a bunch of like buzzwords like Castlevania or Bloodborne or whatever, and like that helps to draw. Yeah.
Okay. So even though it's not explicitly Castlevania or Bloodborne, it's both
right.
Kind of Castlevania-y and Bloodborne-ish, and so you can kind of like just draft off of that.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No, if you want to do more of that, it wouldn't hurt, right?
Sure, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm just kind of like at a crossroads right now, and I think just more than anything, I need to try to find some kind of work. Um, and I guess my question now is like, uh, should I try to create like a project kind of section of the website where it's like showcasing like character designs that I've made over the summer kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, have a section on the website that's like expressly for, like, images that group well together.
Right. Okay.
That's not an earth-shattering piece of advice, but I mean, most people don't seem to do that. So, yeah, you just need. It's just a matter of how you edit it. It's how you're going to group and lay it all out together is going to make a huge difference. Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is you're saying you're at a crossroads, and then on your website, I'm seeing you sample a lot of different types of stuff, trying out a lot of things. What sign do you need? What does the universe need to do for you to feel comfortable committing more fully?
Interesting. I don't quite know. I think what I was kind of hoping to happen, like from doing all these like illustrations over the summer, is just like to try to like gain some kind of traction so that I would be able to like start becoming an indie artist online, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, print sales online is like impossible. So like the fact that you sold 10 copies of this is like super impressive to me.
Sweet.
So,
Okay,
but like that's why I'm saying like what kind of sign do you need? Because it's like you went from 0 to 10 sales on a piece that's not that's like not fan art on Etsy, and you're like instead of like being like I'm gonna do another one of those and I'm gonna double down and triple down on that strategy, like it seems like you've switched gears and tried to explore other stuff instead. Like what would make you feel comfortable like digging in, like in trying to get 10 times more of like one of the successes you've experienced so far?
You know what? I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed that this pin, I was looking at the name of it, is Virtues Angelorum. Oh my god. I should have done this instead of them. Ah, shit. I was trying to do cute chibi versions of my pins. I should have just done some shit like this. I would have made a bunch of money. Dumb of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is my big takeaway. This is my big brain take after spending less time talking with you. I finally accumulated it. It seems like you keep having these really good wins. You've made some great work. I think this is a really strong illustration too. You know, and yet you keep kind of like backing away and then trying other stuff. And like, you know, to get a big success, it requires you to just sort of build a foundation of smaller successes first and just snowball it and like roll it all up together and continue to drill straight down. You know, picking a point to drill straight down is like really, really hard. And the way people find that spot is they typically explore around and try a lot of things. And then as soon as they start getting a few little flakes of gold, they start digging down in that spot and to see if there's big chunks of gold underneath it. And you seem like you have like struck a couple of minor hits and then moved on a couple of times. And you're good at a lot of stuff, but you keep trying to show other things. And so I don't think that if you need to do anything differently, I think it's that you need to address the fact that it seems like you're scared to like commit to like a single strategy, like to commit to a single idea and do 10 times more of it.
Yeah.
And that is preventing you from like getting bigger wins because like, you know, you keep exploring for more and it's not I don't think that there's like some version of this that's gonna like, you're not gonna win with like one piece that's like the standout piece that's gonna solve all the problems in your life. Like you need to like build a whole suite of pieces together that are going to collaborate and form the core foundation of your artistic identity. And that's like, that's going to require you to like deal with like the feelings of like fear and insecurity that come with making that kind of choice.
I think it also kind of comes from, so I'm just kind of realizing this about myself, that it's, I've done all this like different style of art to try to figure out what exactly it is that I want to do. So like going into graphic design, like I wanted to do illustration before that, but like, had to pivot for job's sake and all that stuff. And then in doing graphic design, they knew I was an illustrator, so they had me like doing all these different kind of style stuff. So I started learning about all these different styles and started appreciating all that stuff. And so it became much more difficult to try to figure out what exactly like it is that I wanted to do, what kind of style that I wanted to have for myself. And so like over this past summer, like really finding that voice, I guess, is like what I've been really focusing on. So like I've discovered that like I do like doing these sort of comic book kind of stylized characters and stuff. So like so that's a win. And I guess I want to veer away from like the more painterly stuff, even though like the stuff that I've done is nice to an extent. It's not exactly what I'm hoping to do, So like I think that's kind of like that's kind of just where I'm at right now. So I'm still like a little bit in the soul searchy phase, but I'm discovering things about like the things that I do like to make. I think I also want to just kind of, I'm gonna say I want to pivot a little bit to creating like an IP or something that I can like kind of anchor all of my work around so that it's more cohesive. Does that make sense?
I guess, but like I don't think you need to make a choice about an IP and then like make like 100 new pieces like in order to build that thing up. I think what you need to do is like find the space that like you are already like pick one of the things that you've already done that you've already succeeded at some, and then like create a portfolio of pieces that all like look like that. And if you can then tie it into like if you can then build that up from the ground up into an IP, that's fine. But I really think it like my experience with building an IP is like it was a lot more about the aesthetic than it was about like the storytelling. And that ultimately worked for me. And so like I think I overweighted like how valuable it was to be creating an IP. And really what it was is I was creating inside like a consistent aesthetic for a long period of time, and that is what made all the difference. And so that's what I think you need. Like, yeah, you can do it through the lens of building an IP, but the most important thing is that you're creating a series of pieces that are coherent in terms of an aesthetic to be able to create like a singular portfolio that's going to be like foundational for you to be able to build the kind of business that you want. And you've got a couple different entry points to try it, but I think you seems like you're headed in a direction that you're like confident in creatively, and just do more of like just start drilling straight down. Like you've had enough life experience where you can, I think, make a pretty educated choice about where to do that. And it's a really scary choice, but I think that's your next step.
Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks,
and
man.
You're getting some love here in the chat. Comic Stance says that your work is beyond good, and Burgest is saying that they love the painterly vignettes, and I'm like, yeah, I agree totally. So we're gonna move on to somebody else. Thank you so much for sharing your work today.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I don't want to take up any more time.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, everybody.
You've managed to goad me into like some of my favorite rants, like some of my favorite topics to talk about. So spent a lot here, but for the next person, whoever is here to be able to talk in a Discord and has submitted your work to the portfolio submission section on the Discord, raise your hand, and I can pull you up on stage and we can chit chat about your website or whatever. DK? DK's first to the mic. So I got to go over to the portfolio submissions. Hello, DK. If you're talking, you can't.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Do you have your stuff in the portfolio submissions? I'm looking for you right now. I don't see you.
I do. It's like not a website. It's more of like a Google Drive link.
Google Drive. You gotcha.
I quite feel ashamed after seeing like those two portfolios, but like yeah, like I have never relied on my portfolio for work. But yeah, it's like mixture of some stuff like which I have did in past.
Is there a reason you haven't put it on popular websites like Instagram or ArtStation?
Like I used to have an Instagram account. Like I removed all of my artwork from there. Like life was in kind of different path altogether. Like before, like I started doing digital painting and concept art last year, like 2022 or something. Like starting 2022. And so like the current work which is there is like belongs to like the current client which I'm working on right now. Like they are developing game sort of thing, and they want someone to like ideate the areas and like stuff, like think about the visuals and all, and like come up with some vision like regarding all of those things. So these are like globes representing vibe kind of about those areas of the game and like the kind of places the game is going to offer and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, like I feel like compared to like the other stuff which I have seen so far, like over here, like I kind of feel not so good, confident about my work. Yeah, totally. But yeah, like I have never think about doing something particular. Like I have been seeing your work for some time, and I really like the way like you have some particular thing going on for your work, like the Angelarium thing, like entire thing. And I really want to have some sort of those kind of things going on for my artworks. And yeah, but like right now I'm not doing anything like that. I'm only doing client work, and like this only shows client work. I used to have some sort of history in animation, but I switched career last year because it was too hard for me to keep on, and it was not paying that much. Like current work is like paying me decent enough to like keep working in art field. So yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing a lot of really different stuff. It's interesting.
Whatever pays, it's mostly like whatever pays. Yeah, some of those work have like some of my personal things. Like the animated GIF was from one of my personal project. It was a short film, and like I don't keep those things on my portfolio anymore because like I don't want to work on animation anymore.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's like it is way harder to make an opinion about your artwork because it's harder to see. It's harder to get a sense of it browsing through like a Dropbox folder.
I know.
I really recommend that like you get this put into a format that's going to be easier to share and browse. That's going to make a big difference. I mean, even when it comes to like working with clients, I think it's going to be really helpful for you to be able to present your work in a professional way in public. Is this work under NDA?
Not really, no. I
Okay.
don't sign any paperwork ever. Like, I don't want to. If I have to sign any paperwork, I won't work for them.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
that's like my personal thing. Like,
Okay. I mean, that's going to make it tough for a lot of jobs. There, most of the better paying jobs, they require you to, do things like sign NDAs or, you know, contract agreements, like work for hire agreements.
mhm.
Being paid in cash under the table for artwork, I mean, it's possible. It really depends on like what jobs you have
Actually,
available and
that is
like
what I'm doing right now. I don't want to keep on doing that. Like, I
yeah.
know it's not reliable, like long term.
Yeah, it's that's that. I mean, if you've been able to like rustle up work that's all in cash on the table, like congrats. Like that's a totally unique feat all on its own. I really like this one. There.
Yeah, this is my like most recent work.
Uh
Like,
huh.
I took like 7 months of gap because like I was in bed and like since last December, and like I started working couple of months ago
Mm-hmm.
again. So yeah, like it's not bad. Like, this is like after like coming back, like this is the first project which I pulled off, and I actually learned a lot of things from this project. Like,
That's great. What would you like to know about? What kind of questions do you have about your work?
so when I see your work, like you have one particular thing going on for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when it comes to aesthetics and like looking something professional, okay, like I know like I can make a really good work and all. Like, this is like a progress, okay, like so you are going from like finished product to the like you are reverse engineering the work right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what I'm doing, I feel like my finished products are always feels like something which is going to be worked on more. It never feels finished. It feels like, yeah, like whatever I do, it never feel like it is finished.
Uh huh.
And yeah, like currently, like the work, the client work which I'm doing, like obviously it is not supposed to be finished. Like, this is like a point where like from where like other artists or other people will start working, like 3D people or other concept artists or other people will start working from that point. But like in general, I feel like whenever like I'm doing something, unless it is like just a study or something like that, but the work, it never feels like it is finished product ever. That is something I feel like I struggle with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I have idea, like, so I have did a comic book in past like 6 7 years ago, a couple of comic books and published them. Did not earn that much money out of it. Like, mostly the people who published actually earned, but I never got any money on my hand, like not even a print of that book. But yeah, right now I want to have my own book. Like, I have an idea, and like there is a Sanskrit poem
Mm-hmm.
about Hindu god, and like I want to make uh, something like a visual art series or something like that, the way you have portrayed your work, like kind of like that. But I want something like an aesthetic to it. Like, I feel like I struggle with it. And yeah, just like help me out, like if you have some sort of advice. Like,
I mean, when it comes to like making comics, I have very little advice because I have very little experience in comics. You know,
no, no,
from
no, no, not comics. Like, right, the thing which I want to work is more of like a uh, series of visual art. Like,
okay.
it's like a so the poem have verses in Sanskrit. Like, each
Mm-hmm.
verse represents some sort of gesture of a particular Hindu god, and I want to like represent it in a artistic manner in a painting or something. So, like, I feel like what you are doing is quite similar to it. Like,
Okay.
that's why I'm quite interested in like understanding like how did you find out. Like, right now I feel like my artistic skills are not up to the point. Like, that is like one thing.
Well, I mean, I can share with you a little bit of behind the scenes here. Let me show you something. There's maybe this will help. Let's see. Series 1.
Like every project have like different pipeline for me. Like I'm not able to struck down on a single pipeline for everything. Like that is something I feel like I struggle with.
Yeah. So when I started with Angelarium way back in 2004, so yeah, nearly 20 years ago at this point. This was so I did a series of 12 character designs that were really simple backgrounds, kind of roughly drawn, and they were painted to the absolute best of my ability at the time. I was doing one per week, and then a couple of years after I graduated from college, I was already a lot better at painting just because I had done a lot of it. And, it was a period in my life where I was really focused on learning, and I was starting off from zero. So I was learning really fast, and I ended up redoing the series again, like a couple of years after I graduated. And then once I had established myself as more of a professional, and I actually felt really confident in my ability as a painter, I went back and I redid them all again. And so the version of Angelarium that people see is like the third iteration. And so for a lot of them, there's like a really early version that is like not so good. And then there's like the updated version that is the one that people recognize, because this was a series that stuck with me over a long period of time. And I kept going back and revisiting these concepts over and over again until I felt like I was able to do them justice. And that to me is like always I think that's an option that's available to everybody. Like rather than worry that you aren't good enough to be able to fulfill this vision that you have for this Sanskrit poem and these Hindu gods, I'd say that you should do your absolute best with it, follow whatever inspiration makes sense to you for it, and then by the time you're done with it, you're probably going to be a lot better. I think if you go and do a dozen fantasy character illustrations of Hindu gods, by the end of it, you could probably start over immediately and already do a better job. But I think you should do your best with it and have it be a part of your story, have it be a part of your history, and then as you continue to learn and gain more experience, it's not like you're spending your one opportunity in your life to realize this idea. It's a sort of thing that continue to grow and evolve with you as you continue to get better at painting. So you can go back and revisit those ideas, the parts about those ideas that you loved, and update them and bring them forwards. My first version of Iced was the least popular version, was the least popular character in the Angelarium series when it was first made. I had 12 of them, and this one was absolutely last place. This was the least popular, worst one. Everyone agreed it was bad. It was not a good illustration. And then I ended up skipping it. It was so bad I skipped it. So that when I went to go redo the series, I decided to do a different Angel because I thought this one didn't make any sense and wasn't any good. But then when I got more confident down the line, I redid it and I updated a bunch of my choices. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, for the rating party from Leo Val. Thanks for rating. And when I updated it many years later, and I understood what choices I needed to make to make it a lot better, this ended up it might be my most successful painting of all time. Whenever I go to sell prints, this thing outsells almost everything else I bring by a huge amount. So it went from the worst Angelarium painting to the best one over the course of me leveling up and getting better. So it was it wasn't that I had a good idea and then I wasted it by drawing it bad. It was that this was just a step in my progress, and it was I didn't realize that at the time it was a step towards me like having a really successful painting that was going to be a part of like my portfolio for many, many years. And so I would say that you don't need to worry about like how well you think you're going to do any of this stuff. I'm just happy that you have an idea that you're passionate about and that you're pushing forward and you're making a lot of stuff and you're finding ways to like, get by and like sell your work and sell your services. Like, great. Obviously like your work is still developing. You're still learning. I bet you're probably learning really quickly as you're like, you're pushing yourself to make better and better paintings all the time. And and you're probably learning really fast, and you're trying to make a really detailed painting like this. You're getting a lot out of it as far as education goes, and then you're going to take those lessons on to the next thing that you're going to make. But like the next thing you're going to make is not going to be your masterpiece. Like you don't get to pick when you make the thing that people are going to know you for. So you do your absolute best with it. You share it with people. I mean, my big criticism towards you is that you are not sharing this in a very effective way. Like, make the best work that you can, share it with people, learn the lessons that you can from it, and then move on to your next piece. The process of being an artist is something that unfolds over your whole life. Like, no one ever reaches a point where they've made it. Like they're like the business side of business aside, it's like, there's artists don't typically just hang up their brushes and like say that they've accomplished everything they need to and walk away. Like this is a lifelong pursuit. And so like, like you're going to learn a lot about what you want out of it and what you need to do to be more successful in it by doing it. And so just, you need to be brave about like committing to the big ideas that you want to make and trying them. Because like, I've had experiences where I thought I had a big idea, and then when I tried to actually draw it, it turns out I didn't really have any good ideas and that I didn't even really like drawing it. I just liked the idea of it in my head. And it was like the best experiences I've had are when I was just drawing something because it seemed like a good idea at the time. And then once it was on the page, I realized that I had something really valuable. And it was like, it wasn't until it was in front of my own eyes that I realized that it was any good. Sometimes I don't even realize myself right away. Like, it's hard to assess your own work, which is why it's so important to put it in places where other people can see it, because the reaction you get from other people can sometimes be a good way of learning about what's working and not working about your work. Just, whether or not people are noticing you and whether or not people are like commenting on it or wanting to work alongside of you. Those things will, are good indicators on whether or not you're accomplishing your goals artistically. So I would definitely like make sure to share your stuff as much as possible. Put it out in public spaces and move on to try to make the ideas that you're most excited about instead of waiting to feel like you're ready to do them. If they're that good, you'll come back to them when you are ready. But you should get anything that you feel is worthwhile on a page so you can have it in front of your eyes as soon as you can. Like, and I don't think there's any exceptions to that. That's advice I'm comfortable giving to anyone.
Yeah, that was quite nice and quite helpful, because like I mostly like I'm always working solo. I'm always like alone, and like I generally don't get like advices from people who are from my field. Like, I'm going to be frank with you. This is like the first advice I have gotten from someone in like so many years, and
well,
yeah,
I'm glad
it's
that
quite helpful.
I'm glad that you're honoring me by like seeking me out. Then I mean, if you don't normally ask people about this, like the fact that you're asking me is a big compliment.
Yeah, because like I have never met someone like who have done something or doing something which like I want to like learn from them for some time now. Like I have, and like the kind of work which I'm doing, like as I said, like I'm getting money in cash under the table, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like working on works which I'm not selling my work, rather than I'm selling myself
Yes.
for the money, like most of the times. You can see like this is obviously like this is something which I have poured my heart and soul into it, kind of work, but like it's not something I wanted to make. It's something which someone else wanted me to make.
Right.
It was not something I wanted to make. Like, and I tried making something I wanted to make in past, like the things which I said, like I wanted to portray my culture in a different manner, and I failed miserably. Like in past, like I was not able to monetize those things and like make something out of it. I worked my ass off, and those things never paid off. I did learn a lot of things, and like my artistic skills developed from it, and it made me move away from the animation itself and like line art itself, and I kind of like found painting, and I felt like it was something I wanted to do. It made me happy in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like able to like do something from it. It's almost like playing with clay, like mud, and you
It's
can
fun.
just like do whatever you want.
It's really
Yeah,
fun.
it's
I mean,
fun. Like it,
that's the reason I do it. That's the reason I got into it. That's the reason I've dedicated my life to it, is because it is really fun. And like the whole idea behind this community is to try to help teach people about art for fun. I know we've had a lot of career and like money discussions from the portfolio reviews today, but like the fun part of it is the part that I really want to focus on going forwards, because if we're ever going to get anywhere professionally with this, I feel like it has to start with like an authentic love of like the work itself. And I think that even if nobody here ever works again as an artist, I think it's still worthwhile for all of us to continue to make art the way we want and to like try to create our personal vision, because it's satisfying and it's enriching. Like it feels really good. And like, even if it's never going to turn into a business, it's worth making. So there's like, as long as you are making it and you are sharing it with others, you're succeeding, I think. And so I think I want to encourage you to do that more. And I'm going to move on to somebody else. I got the next person lined up here.
okay. Thank you.
No, thank you. Rox, are you still around? I'm going to invite you up onto the stage. I was just looking at, I found your spot in portfolio.
Hello there.
Hello.
Glad to be here.
Luis Javier.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Well, I'm a graphic designer student.
Yeah?
But I'm also trying to be a illustrator.
Uh-huh.
Really trying to reach that level of Magic the Gathering, D&D, or Pathfinder.
Yep. How's it going so far?
Well, really trying to improve in like perspective, colors, values.
Mm-hmm.
But well, maybe in the drawing part, I'm not that good.
How long have you been drawing for?
Well, 3 years,
Okay.
4 maybe.
What's your favorite piece in your portfolio?
Definitely that golem one.
Oh, yeah, with the bird?
Yeah, that one.
What's your least favorite piece in your portfolio?
Maybe the cobalt one.
Which one?
This one.
Which one? This one?
That cobalt with the
Oh, Kobold? This one?
yeah,
Dragonborn?
that one.
I actually really like the rendering on the head. Like this one, it stands out in the thumbnail that it has this really like it has this very sculpted look to it. Like the lighting on it, I think, looks really nice actually.
Yeah, but I think the background is a little bit off.
It doesn't look quite done. I mean, you have this silhouette of a guy that's like not really drawn in yet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Like, whenever I see a portfolio like this one, I always wonder what you're hiding. Because my experience is that I've seen a lot of portfolios like this that are like going for that Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder kind of painting look. But it's not quite coming together. And what I find in a lot of cases is that artists with portfolios like this have other interests that they're really good at, that they are hiding in favor of showing a very specific genre of work, because that's the kind of thing that they're aspiring to do in the future. You said you're a graphic designer too?
Yes.
Do you have examples of like your other work outside of this portfolio?
Oh, they are worse than this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I always like to get a more complete view because we have a very, very slim view here. We got these 6 pieces, and it doesn't look like this is a style that it's not just a style. It's like it looks like you are struggling with this style in part because it's not like it is probably something going on with your work process. That like the steps that you're doing to make the piece, the order of the choices that you're making, the amount of time you're spending at each step, something there is not working 100%. And you might be pushing away some of your best skills in favor of trying to do a style that you are a fan of. That's the sense that's my first suspicion that I get looking at it. That's my first reaction, because like this is a very, very common thing. I do like your ideas. Like I do really like the look of this golem guy. I think that it's got a lot of really good mood to it. I like the design on the face a lot. I like the storytelling in the piece. But you're struggling some with the color and some with the value. And the underlying, it looks like you don't have a lot going, like either you've changed a lot from the original drawing or you didn't have a lot of drawing underneath before you started trying to paint it.
I just paint, I think, immediately.
You're just painting, just starting with the painting? Yeah, you need to start with the drawing, man. That's like, I have the same trouble. Like, I have such a hard time pulling a piece together when I don't start with the drawing first. And I want to skip it all the time because drawing is really hard. And, like, while I'm drawing, I can't, like, listen to people talk. Like, I have to have, like, a quiet environment or, like, soothing music. I have to focus on my work. I have to mentally prepare. It's like I have to use my whole brain. It's, like, really taxing to, like, pull an idea together, to like have a real idea and just be focused on the concept and the flow of it and like be assembling all the big pieces that make up the idea. Like, and like, you know, I try to make sure that all that's set before I start trying to work out things like value and lighting and color and surface detail, because all those things kind of hang on top of the drawing. And, you know, I feel like anybody who's looking at it can always kind of see whether or not there's like a really strong drawing underneath, or if there's like, you know, or if it's like, it's kind of like a wall that's been hung up without any supports underneath, and it's kind of getting wobbly, you know, it's like a little wobbly and wavy because it's not doesn't have these like strong pillars behind it. And, that's going to be like, there are some artists who don't who start working in digital paint, but I mean the vast majority of artists start with a strong drawing to try to work these sorts of issues out at the very, very beginning of the piece, and anyone who tries to like skip past it often either slows themselves down or lowers the overall quality of their work. So even if you find yourself being a little uncomfortable, like sitting down to draw with a sketchbook, or like with a I don't know if you're working on like an iPad. I know a lot of people are drawing with an iPad these days rather than on pencil. I'm like a boomer. I still work on a sketchbook with a mechanical pencil.
You use a small Wacom.
Okay. But for drawing, I recommend that you use something where you are. Is it one of the ones with the screen on it, or is it just like
No.
what I've got?
Doesn't have a screen.
Okay. Yeah, you need to be working on something that's high fidelity, very, very high resolution, and where you can see it in front of you while you're drawing. So that means either spending thousands of dollars on an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil, or spending $5 on a sketchbook. One of the two, whichever you want. I have an iPad Pro, and I like never use it for drawing. It's like every time I pick it up, either the iPad or the pen is out of batteries. I hate it. It drives me crazy. And I have always felt like I have so much more control over this kind of stuff working in pencil. I think you need to bring it back to like, did you ever, when you were younger, before you were trying to do this kind of illustration, were you drawing in pencil?
Yes, but I think that it cannot reach that quality that I made with this piece. Like with color, it's not as good.
I think you should go back to working in pencil, and like you don't need to you don't need to even show it, but like I think that when you have an idea for an illustration you want to make, if you can't get a version of it that you love in pencil on paper, then you are going to like never be able to fix it in a way where it feels like what you want working digitally. Ideally, what you want is for all of the layers of digital paint to be building up, new aspects of like the image, like the color palette, like the lighting, that you're not going to be able to pull off in pencil, but it should be building on top of that same structure. It should be building on top of the same idea. And so if you like have these ideas for these illustrations, and if you can accomplish them on pencil, then all you need to do is scan it, or photograph it with your phone or whatever, bring it into Photoshop or Krita, and then like try to paint it without fucking it up. Like that's the trick, is like trying to figure out a way to like bring it into this new medium without ruining what's special about the original drawing. But you need to have that original drawing in order to like build from it. And like that has the ability to potentially transform the results that you're getting here. You would think that it wouldn't make, you're thinking, okay, well, I need to learn more about color. I need to learn more about lighting. I need to learn more about value. That has nothing to do with pencil. But I can tell you from experience that it is so much easier to take those steps digitally when you have something underneath it that is solid. And like taking those, like the better you do on the previous step, the easier the next step gets. So like you're currently starting with like nothing underneath, you're just building on you're building on mud, and the thing's starting to sink. The structure you're trying to build is sinking into the ground, and it's like, it's like if you can start with a really solid base first, like every other step afterwards is going to be so much easier. And from those successes, you're going to learn what you want to repeat. You're going to get better faster. You're going to get stronger results almost immediately. I think you're going to have a really great experience overall from the whole painting if you can start with that really strong drawing. Even if it is really frustrating for you to like go back to working in pencil, I think it's going to make. I think that it could have the potential to like really transform your work. But it's a leap of faith, I'm not telling you anything here about your colors or your values or like your lighting, but I just trust me on it. It's magical. We're talking about doing a little bit of magic here. You know.
Well, thank you for your mic.
So, what do you think? You gonna give it a shot?
Yes, I will try to improve my drawings.
Great. Yeah, just for your next piece, draw whatever you like. Make it an imaginative piece. One of the things we're going to do on here is, like, starting next week, we're going to have a weekly drawing challenge where we're going to give a prompt, and then, everyone's going to make a piece. Everyone wants to participate can make a piece for that prompt, and then we're going to look at it here on Fridays. And so if you wanted to play along with that, you can, include your piece along with everybody else's and have it seen on next Friday's show.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your help.
All right, we got somebody else in the queue. I'm gonna move on to them. Unless if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. What? He's already gone. Okay. Rice Pod, you still here? We're gonna find it in the submissions.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I was muted. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you. I've been following you for a long time, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm looking for your stuff in the portfolio submissions.
It's the last one. It's probably the last one.
Last one? Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Easy.
I just posted it a couple minutes ago.
All right. You're going for the same thing, the fantasy art painting thing. You're a little further along, though. How's it been going?
So I got that critique that you gave him about the drawing because I stopped drawing. Because so I was almost blind. I had really bad eyesight, so I stopped drawing because I couldn't see the lines, and I started using value. And I didn't notice that my drawings got like very mushy. And lately, I've been trying to get back to drawing because I got eyesight correction.
Oh, nice.
So now I'm back along to like drawing more. But yeah, I'm going to the same thing. I was working actually in a grocery store until like a couple months ago, and I had like health problems. So I've been out of work, and I kind of was like a golden opportunity for me to like start painting more. So most of this have been done in the last couple of months.
Last couple of months, dude, you're killing it.
No, that one was last year when I was listening to your One Fantastic Week. You gave this advice that you could make the character smaller, just make the canvas bigger and bigger and bigger. And I took it way too far. I spent like a year on and off on that painting. Like, everyone was like telling me to drop it, but I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm painting more trees and mountains and everywhere. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it took me like a year, that one. But from that point on, the last 4 or 5 have been done the last couple of months.
Well, I was going to say, that's a lot of little brush strokes, dude.
Yeah.
Very, very cool piece, though. I can see that you've been looking at my work, but I'm always flattered when people do that. It's very cool. I mean, so let's see. I mean, you're on the upswing.
Old,
health-wise, you're doing better. You're making new work.
Doing better.
So you're trying to. I feel like I've seen this before.
I don't know. I might have posted somewhere for a critique before, years ago, but I don't think so.
So, where's your head at right now? Are you submitting your stuff to people and trying to get work as an artist?
No, I'm about to. So I've been working with one client only. Most of my last work I've been from this one guy that I found on Facebook. And I'm like right there. I'm like, okay, so I don't have to work at the grocery store right now, so I can just focus on art. So I've been doing my portfolio, and I feel like I got enough now that it's like good enough that I can probably send to some places to get work, but I really don't know. I don't even know if I'm there yet. I'm like, I feel like I am. But
who cares?
I don't know.
Who cares if you're there yet? This is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like I see your influences. I see the places where you're copying me. This background, the style of the background reminds me a little bit of Chris Ron.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Chris Ron.
Yeah.
That obvious shit.
But that's the state of fantasy painting right now is that there's a few people who have kind of there's a real canonical style that's kind of evolved over the last 10 years, and it seems like kind of where you're at. I would love to see what happens if you could take the inspirations you've had so far and then continue to experiment with it to develop some, innovate on it a little bit. Figure out what things you have to say stylistically I mean, sometimes you're doing some things that feel like you're having fun with like mixing influences and references and stuff. Like this is like you got the bottom of this piece is like a quaint little like pastoral scene, and then you've got the giant Pete Mohrbacher style demon over the top of it, and it's like a weird mashup, and to me that's a lot of fun, and then like something like this feels very much like it was a commission for somebody's RPG.
It is. That's exactly what.
Oh, okay. It is a commission.
Yeah. The last ones that is a commission too. Those last ones are all commissions from this one dude.
Because it's like this doesn't feel like a commission. This feels like an awesome album cover or like a personal painting. Like this. Yeah. I love it. I want you to. I wish that you had tightened up a few more of the edges personally. Just
that was for like a 24-hour like an NFT art competition, like art share thing.
Pretty fucking good art for an NFT, gotta say. Like in a world where a lot of the art's real bad, this one's pretty dope. I dig it. I dig the look. I dig the whole vibe. It feels like you're having a ton of fun with it. It feels like you're being inventive with it. And then you go to like the what he calls them. You go to like the like a dwarf with a robot arm, and it's just like we're in commission territory.
I did not enjoy this painting that much. It was just like the challenge. Like I've never painted like a lot of metal, and less a metal arm. So I had fun designing it, but the whole process was just stressful as fuck. I just like I'm doing something really hard to do, so I enjoyed the challenge. Well, almost for the challenge, but it wasn't like that enjoyable. Like the background, I had fun with it.
I know exactly what you mean.
Character,
I know what you mean. Like, but there's the thing. Like, I don't know if you fully respect this, but like, you can always see when the artist is enjoying the work. And like, it's like if you're having a bad time painting something, there's like no hiding it. Like the viewer is going to be able to tell the difference. And it's one of the reasons why I'm like so big on trying to tell people to just have fun with the work. Is because I feel like we can tell when there are moments in the painting that you are really enjoying and moments in the painting where you are just dragging yourself through it for a paycheck. And so if you are forced to drag yourself through something for a paycheck, just trust that no matter how much you render it or how many details you add, we can tell. And like, there's no being sneaky about it. So what you ultimately need in order to make a portfolio that's going to blow people's minds is you need to spend time just enjoying the hell out of the process and making something that you're having a lot of fun with and spending way too much time on it and just like loving making art. And like that's an open-ended question.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. That's an open-ended question. Like you can you can make whatever you want, just so long as you're having fun with it. And like, and then that is going to get you commissions, and then those commissions are going to be worse than your personal work. They're not going to be bad, but they're going to be a step down. And you don't use those as like, I think there's a misconception that like you if you can get a job on D&D, that like people are going to notice that, and then you're going to get other better paying jobs, and like it's the reality is that you're always going to be getting your best jobs from personal work. People finding the personal work is going to like attract them to you and get them to pay you to paint their like weird, dumb, bad character.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because for the commissions, this guy specifically, everything before this guy was pretty much personal paintings. But then every character was super weird, and I like painting like women a lot, for example, and that's something that I kind of stopped doing because he has like a weird orc, this weird dude with like a metal arm. But then he gave me the last commission was this like goth girl thing, the red girl that's at the end, and I had a lot of fun with it and stuff like the background that I usually would go for like very realistic stuff. I'm like, oh, I really want to make it like very graphic, kind of like a book cover kind of, because I really like the fantasy illustrators that do book covers. They tend to do like more creative stuff instead of just like this is realistic background, realistic lighting, everything like that. See, lately it's been seeming kind of boring to me. I don't know why. And for this one, I had like a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And he actually commissioned. Like, I sent him 2 sketches, and he actually commissioned me to do both of them. He's like, "Okay, do both. I want you to do the character 2 times. One portrait like this one, and the other full body sketch that I had." So it was like, yeah, it was like a nice experience. And I've been finding like that kind of illustration like speaks to me a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, if you then do more of that, go a little more artsy with it. Like try out more graphic backgrounds. Try, more experimental subject matters. Like see what look for references outside of like gaming art, and that doesn't mean you're not going to get gaming art commissions if you still want them. But it's going to make your it's going to make your experience of making the art better. It's going to give you better experience with like people reacting to your work better. It's going to open up doors for commissions. Like everything that you want is going to emanate from you making work that like speaks to you personally and following your interests. Like even when it comes to like, jobs in like for something like D&D or Magic the Gathering, like they are looking for artists who have like interesting styles, interesting visual takes on classic, like on fantasy, and you can get a lot from that, and then also that sort of stuff may even also sell as prints and whatnot. Like there's a lot more opportunities if you are making stuff that you care about.
Stuff, but I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I said that I haven't really considered like doing the convention stuff, and that really haven't crossed my mind. My mind was kind of set to be like, oh, just like hiding your room and get as better as possible as I can. But like most of the stuff that I posted here, I posted like half an hour, like 2 hours ago. It wasn't even on my art station. My art station
I was noticing it was like at 11.
Like,
I noticed it's like at 11 views. I was like, yikes, dude.
Yeah,
yikes.
I just posted it for you because okay. I just tried to like get better. I haven't really posted. I don't have like an online image.
Post your post your dang art. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm so terrible at it. I don't know. I get no excuse for that. It's.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's lots of reasons why people do or don't make that choice, right? Like it's like it can make you really anxious to like put your work out there and feel like it's being ignored or feel like people don't like it, or like you want to be better. You're like, okay, when I get better, that's when I'm going to share the work. When I get really good and I know I'm good and people tell me I'm good, that's when I'm going to blow everyone's mind. I'm going to appear, I'm going to show up, I'm going to walk in the room, and everyone's going to turn their head. They're going to be like, who's that guy? Who's that guy over there?
That just never ends.
Yeah, and it's just, that's not it. That's not what we're doing here. So it's a progressive thing. You need to have your work seen by other people. You need to be just making stuff, posting it. And the more stuff you can make that you really love, like the better everything is going to go for you. I swear. Your profile says you're in Chicago.
Yeah. I'm from Puerto Rico, but I've been living in Chicago the past 4 years, working at a Whole Foods, Hyper over here. But then I hurt my back, so I've been out for months, and that kind of pushed me to like. No, actually, it was like a blessing in disguise. Because if it wasn't because of that, I would never get it. As I get my shit together to paint more hours, the actual hours that I needed,
geography can be really big for this sort of stuff. Chicago is great. Chicago's middle of the country. It's a big city. There's a lot of art events that you can get to without having to spend a ton of money, like going across the world. Like I've got a friend who is, I got a friend from Paraguay. And he's like, so how am I supposed to do my business from Paraguay? And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I can try to talk it out with you. But, like, I used to live in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of shit that happens within driving distance of Chicago. Like, last weekend was Gen Con, the convention where all the people who hire for this kind of work were all in the same room. And it was 3 hours, 4 hours away from you. Like, you could have driven there and driven back in the same day.
I don't drive because I'm blind as hell, but you know.
Oh, I mean, you could get a ride from somebody else who like wants to go, right?
Yeah. I didn't even know. I'm because I kind of got into the mindset of just get better, and like some way somehow work is gonna fall off my lap, even though I'm not going to like those people to show my work. And now I'm like I don't even really know how to get to those people. Like Jenkins that you said, that would have been like an amazing.
Yeah, well, it'll be back next year.
Going on.
It's in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
but like I mean, C2E2, Anime Central, like there's stuff up in Wisconsin and Michigan and Indiana, like throughout the calendar. Like if you just look within one state of you, anywhere that's within like 10 hours of driving, like if you've got a buddy that you can like go on an adventure with, to go, like you can be in a room full of other people who are into the same shit, and they are really welcoming to like talk to somebody who's into the same stuff. So like you don't have to be doing this alone or all through the internet. Like this is you're in a geographic spot where like if you can take a couple of days on a weekend, you can be in a room with people who are like world-class artists in this genre. Like it's not that hard, but you do have to look out for it.
No, you think that would be like a good advice, something that I should focus on?
I mean, I think it's something that should be a part of what you're doing. Like when you're around other people that are up to the same thing, like it gives you some context to what you're up to. Like, because if you're doing private commissions for somebody and you're being horribly underpaid and it's keeping you busy with shit you hate, and you're in a room full of people who no one's making those same choices, they're doing something else, and you realize that like, oh, not only is that what you want to do, but also they're just a bunch of assholes, same as you, and you could just do it. Like, then you just say like, it's not this big thing where you're like, maybe someday, or like I'll reinvent myself, I'll be a new version of myself in the future. You just go like, I'm going to start doing this right now, because like, why wouldn't I? And
I certainly got the time for it now.
Yeah, and so if it like, there's a lot about like what we do that comes down to the culture that we're around. And so like being in a room with people who are like up to stuff can be a real, it can be really helpful. And so you being in like a major American city, it makes things way easier. So like keep an eye out for events, conventions, places where there's going to be an artist alley. And then if you go to an artist alley and you see somebody out there who's like a top quality fantasy painter or an independent artist who you really love their stuff, just run up and talk to them, and they will talk to you. Like, there's no, like, you don't need a special handshake. You don't need, like, to prove yourself. I usually, when I was in these situations, I would like to have a table. That way people could see that I, like, also do the stuff. But, like, in other cases, back in the day, I didn't have tables so often. I would bring a portfolio with me, and I would just go up to an artist I would like and be like, hey, it's my portfolio. And I wouldn't even really be looking for like a critique. It's just like proof that like, can we talk about art stuff, and like just to know that like we're like both into the same thing. Like we can just like skip past the part where we're trying to figure out stuff about each other and just go like, we have this in common, like, and then be able to talk about whatever. And I found it like I'm like, I have always had a hard time socializing throughout my whole life. But when it came to doing the art thing, like having a portfolio and showing people like, here's what I like, and just starting there, it became really easy to get to meet people, because, if you see somebody whose art is like the sort of thing you like, and you're doing the same thing, and you see each other, you already know you have a huge amount in common, and you can talk about, you can talk about yourself and what's going on with your art. They can talk about their stuff and their art, and you are going to enjoy each other's company to some degree, probably. And you just get to, it's really easy to like, hang out and talk at shows, go out to dinners, like participate in a larger community. It's like, it's doable. It's like totally accessible. And like, it's even better when you're like there in a room with somebody than like doing it online. Like online communities are great because they're accessible to everybody, but like, I think that Chicago's a pretty good starting spot for you. So like, as far as starting locations go, like, it's got bonus stats, man. Like you got it.
Yeah, I'm
easy mode.
I'm definitely gonna be like thinking about that the next
because
couple months.
you have a great set of skills already. Like your portfolio still needs work or whatever, but like you got a great set of skills, and like I think if you can make more pieces that you are really excited about and move away from some of these like private commissions, your portfolio is going to get boosted up a lot really quickly. And then if you can spend time around other people that are doing the kind of thing that you like, that you aspire to do, it's going to answer a lot of questions you have about what your next step should be. So you're going to have I have a lot of confidence that you can make something happen.
Would you recommend like those? Like, there's a couple of pieces of my portfolio that because I don't have a lot of volume.
Yeah.
So I've been using like this commission not only to get some money while I'm not working, but also to like keep me on track to like be productive because it's a deadline you gotta follow, and it adds pieces to my portfolio. Will you think the ones that I don't really like, should I just throw them away and just like not put them on there, or you think it's good to keep them for now until I get?
Nah, if you don't like them, just throw them out. Like I think that you end up looking like a better artist if you don't have this like dwarf guy with the robot arm in there.
Okay, because I was debating it. Even the one about the one with the red background with the skull that you say you like. That image no one has. My best friend has seen it. He's probably watching this right now. That was for like an NFT. It wasn't like I didn't make the NFT. It's just like a art. Those art competitions they do. But I didn't even post it because I finished it like a day later because I found it the day before. So it took me like a day and a half to paint. And I just never showed it to anyone. I just put it in there, just to feel, So to make it
don't
look
tell
like I have some other stuff.
Don't tell anybody it's for an NFT thing because NFTs are controversial. Just show them this and let them make their own choices about it. It's a good painting. It could be better, but like I honestly don't know what your limitations are. You say you've got vision issues. I think you could.
Right now, I don't have them anymore. But when I painted that, for sure, I was like blind as hell. I was like seeing everything blurry. I was like, I'm gonna be honest. Like the first time I seen the vampire guy in the one that looks like your work, kind of with the weird background at the bottom. Well, and I painted that the yellow one, the one that's yellowish.
Oh,
the guy flying that one. Yeah. When I got my eyesight back like a couple months ago, it was like about a year ago, I saw that painting again, and I just started crying because I'm like, I could. It was like watching my own art for the first time because I couldn't see it when I was painting it. I just couldn't legit see it.
That's crazy, dude. I mean, I go in and out of I go in and out of being able to tell what I'm even working on because I lose perspective. Like it starts looking like nonsense to me at different times while I'm working on it. And so I just I zoom in and I just worry about like, okay, am I, sharpening up edges, smoothing out accidental brush marks or whatever, but I don't even know what it is I'm looking at. And then I zoom out and I go, oh, or I go, ugh. But totally, it's to be stuck like that for like a whole painting and be like, I don't know what this adds up to. That's
it was
super hard.
Years until like recently. Yeah.
That's tough, man. Well, congratulations on making a really good painting while blind. I mean, I'd say that's a YouTube video right there. If you ever want to make it.
I got a question also, because right now I'm not really working. I'm just doing these private commissions, but that's the only source of income that I have for now.
Yep.
What do you think I should approach? Do you think I should start looking for like companies or something like that, or like?
Yeah.
I don't want to do my personal work too because I want to follow that and like to make better stuff that people will like and that I will like more.
I mean, business and money is a personal thing, so it's not like there's a right answer and a wrong answer. Some people I know when they're like, they have some painting skills, but like they need money. They do all kinds of jobs that are sort of painting adjacent. Like some of them, they'll like get a job working at a casino company and make like the graphics for like digital slot machines for casinos, and like they'll be able to collect like a regular paycheck working on art, but not any art they actually want to show with anybody.
Oh, to me, I'm really interested. Like, I know as cliche as it sounds, I really would like to work with like making book covers for like for example for Thor books because I really love their fantasy books. And like Magic, if it's possible to get there at some point.
I mean, I think
that's something I would really love to.
everybody I know who has like
there.
done this style of art, who's stuck with it over the long term, eventually works on Magic. You know, so like the chance you're gonna hold a Magic card with your name on it someday is pretty high, I think. I don't know if they're gonna hire you right now. They're releasing like a new Magic set every month at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
I don't know how
don't
they're
even
doing
do
it, so maybe you can get hired right now. It just tuck your worst pieces, as hide them, and then send them out to like their submissions folder or whatever. You know, you don't need to wait to like submit to any companies that you would want to work for. But also like, you have the ability to, submit to places that hire for concept artists or illustrators, for game studios and whatnot. And it doesn't cost anything to like make these submissions. Like, I've always been a fan of bets that cost $0. Like, if you imagine going into like a 7-Eleven or like a what do you call that, convenience store, and there was a scratch off ticket that cost $0. Like, you'd be like, just give me all of them. Yeah, just give me all of them. Whatever. Like, are you likely to make like it's like anything that's a $0 bet is always worth taking. And so that's why I'm always like, just post the work where people can see it. $0 bet. Submit to the companies you want to work for. $0 bet. The more expensive one is like, show up to a room full of people who like the same shit as you. That actually costs
and I already want to do that.
Time and money. But I mean, it's kind of fun to do on its own, regardless of whether or not it results in like work or whatever. You make friends that way. That's awesome. It's like, I would say, take every $0 bet you can, and see what comes out the other end. And then, while you're, if none of them come back, whatever, keep working. I don't like private commissions, even in a situation like yours, because oftentimes the pay is so low that like it's costing you in the long term, because you aren't able to do the kinds of pieces that are going to get you the better jobs later. So it ends up delaying the amount of time until you it delays the amount of time until like you're able to actually like get to where you want to go. So you're getting like a couple $100 today to make it so it's going to take you another 2 months to actually land a decent paying job. And like that's a tough trade. I don't like it. So unless you can score a private commissioner who's willing to pay Magic the Gathering rates,
I don't know what even that is. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Can you talk about that if you can? I don't know if that's a controversial subject. Why would be like a good money for what? I can tell you, sir, what I'm getting.
I'm perfectly comfortable talking about money. I don't volunteer it because I don't want to make the person I'm talking to feel uncomfortable. But I'll.
Oh, I for right now, I'm getting paid for all like is it like $750, like $750 for each illustration? But it takes me. If I do a half-ass job and I send a half-ass illustration, he's gonna love it because he just loves my work. But I try to use every illustration like as a learning to get my skills better and do stuff that I don't know how to do yet.
Oh, by the way, in chat, Araya Art, that's my friend from Paraguay, and he's saying he works with Tor and Magic, and he's saying portfolio reviews at conventions are key. He can give you some suggestions in Discord in the future if you want. So reach out to him. His name's Sam Araya.
What's his name again?
In Twitch chat, it's Araya Art. His name's Sam Araya.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at the Discord. I'll get his name when after this for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, I'm getting paid like $750, but I don't even know what better illustrators get paid.
So you're getting paid $750 for illustrations?
Yeah, and it takes me like 3 weeks to paint these.
Yeah,
I really
that's not far off from what I was getting paid by Magic back in the day. Most of the Magic cards I ever painted were for $850. And then I spent about 2 or 3 weeks on them most of the time. But I was working on nights and weekends.
I do have a lot of time available to me.
$750 is not bad for private commissions and stuff. Like if it's for like an indie publisher, like that's not terrible. I think Magic has raised the rates a decent amount the last few years. What's that?
Yeah. No, it's just for one. It's not even for a game. It's just for him. He just likes it. His characters.
I mean, that's
All his
great.
D&D
That's a
characters.
great rate for like a private commissioner. So, I mean, I'm always worried that like somebody's doing this, they're getting $50. Like,
Oh no!
because there's a lot of that.
Yeah. I understand, but no, I know for that. I think I was at the point before when that's probably what we've been getting paid,
Yeah.
and I just chose to work at the grocery store and do art after hours, and that's it for years, for like the past 4 years, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's like I always say this over and over again. Money is personal, and so if you're living in Malaysia, $50 an illustration, you might be able to work it
that's
out.
a lot. Yeah.
Chicago,
so, you know.
fuck no,
Yeah.
not a chance. You better enjoy living in your parents' basement. That's what $50 an illustration looks like. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, $750. That's not bad. That's way better than I expected. So, but it's still tough. Like when you're getting when you're having to like. When you're having to draw stuff that is like setting you back creatively, you are getting paid $750 to like delay your career growth.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I've seen people get 9-to-5 jobs. I mean, not something that's actually going to injure you. Like you injuring your back at Whole Foods is a bummer, just because it's like I wouldn't want you to. I wouldn't want you to like. Suffer an injury that's going to prevent you from like achieving your goals. Like, so sacrificing your body in the short term just to make ends meet sucks. But you know, if you can find something comfortable at 9 to 5, and then nights and weekends, just work for yourself. That can be a great deal. It depends on what your needs are. Like, you know, I'm supporting a family of 4 on one income. It's tough.
No, I think I can do it because I am by myself. I got my girlfriend here, but I have the whole day to myself, and it doesn't take me 3 weeks of hard 8-hour days to take. Like, I'm like slacking up big time. So I can just add personal paintings to my schedule, and it wouldn't change anything. I can just do it. I just haven't thought about it, or like, you know.
I know that's always a story I hear about. The discipline it takes to switch gears and have like multiple things on the board is way harder than people give it credit for. So you're saying this all cavalier like, but I'm suspicious because I've been there and I've watched a lot of people make the same attempt, and they don't do it. You know, like what happens is like you end up doing the personal pieces when you are aiming to switch gears in your career, or you have a big gap in your schedule, or you become so like frustrated with all the other things in your life that you use art as an escape to like focus on something else. Like, hey, you did this at a time when you were having serious health problems. To me, like a certain amount of that makes sense because like the times when I've done my most ambitious personal paintings are at a time when I'm trying to escape something in my life that is like stressing me out or making me feel bad. Like art's always been an escape for me, and so like, you know, when you're in crisis or whatever, it's like personal paintings tend to pop up. So if you want to making personal paintings at a time when you're not in crisis requires you to kind of like block in a time where you're going to do it with intention. You have to like say, this is the moment when I'm going to do this, and then you need to go and take the step of saying, here's what I want to do at that time. Like you need to then not only be the artist, but you need to be the boss. So like there's a lot of art that will happen as a result of you like you making art for personal reasons. Like, you know, you're escaping from reality, you're like wanting to like you know, better yourself or whatever. But like when you go, okay, I need to have a better portfolio, I need to make personal pieces. At that point, you are then a commissioner who is trying to like, you're an art director on top of being an artist. And it's like it's one extra job, and it's like not the same as just making personal art for yourself, you know, for emotional reasons. And it's harder. It is an extra layer of difficulty, and nobody counts it. Like everyone just assumes like the art is going to happen on its own because it's always happened on its own, but that's not reality. I don't think. It's not for me, and like I don't like everyone I know who like is like a independent artist. They end up having to be a boss to themselves or other people, or both, in order to make the whole thing like come together. So
you're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It certainly gave me a lot to think about.
Hey, Ash. Welcome.
Hey, no, I've never thought of that phrasing before. I absolutely love it. It's clicking with me. Well done, man.
Thank you. So I think we're winding down on the portfolio review things. Is there anything else that I can answer for you while I still got you here?
Hey, you gave me a lot to think about. I don't know. I think you make my path a little bit clearer to me because I know, even though it's up to me to figure it, I think I know what can I do now. If there is anything you think I could get better at, or something that I'm like obviously lacking on that it's like totally escaped me or something. I saw like something technical, for example. I don't know.
I mean, there's plenty of technical stuff you're doing
that
wrong.
I'm doing wrong or something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of technical stuff you're doing wrong, but you probably know it all, right?
Yeah, true. Okay. yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for reviewing my portfolio, man. I always wanted to meet you, get to talk to you for a minute. Been great.
That's legitimately insane that you painted that awesome vampire dude while blind. I'm going to cry myself to sleep. Vampire dude while blind.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you should write a fucking YouTube video. You'd make a YouTube video of like, I painted this while blind. People are gonna click on it.
That sounds like a killer YouTube title. You know what?
It might be clickbait, but it's also true. So I don't see why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, then I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
If I ever make even just one YouTube video, that's gonna be.
We might end up clipping it. Dustin might end up clipping it and making the YouTube video of just our conversation about it. So, sorry, we're gonna make the video before you do, but you should still do it.
That's okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to technical stuff, you come hang out in voice chat sometime. You can get technical feedback. There's always good artists hanging out in the VC here on the server. Ash is an excellent example. Ash is master painter and can answer a lot of technical questions straightforward, and often is volunteering. I'm volunteering your time over here. I hope you don't mind. But they're always doing paint overs for people and stuff. And so if there's a specific piece you're working on that you want to get beat up on the technical stuff, there's people around that are usually volunteering their time to help out with that sort of thing. Because what else are you going to do? You're hanging out in voice chat. It's fun.
Yeah, sure. No, I just found about this yesterday. I didn't even know you were doing this until yesterday.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna try to do a community stream every Friday where we're looking at the results of art challenges. I wanted to get some sketchbook threads. There's a bunch of things that we're gonna be building onto the server over the next few weeks. That is going to be that's going to be adding a little bit of structure to all this stuff. And so if you're looking for a chance to if you're looking for a chance to make some personal work or participate in some sort of challenge or something to beef up your portfolio, feel free to participate. There was somebody who was in chat was asking, I'm curious about the $850 MTG commissions. Does that include full licensing or just paying for the artwork? That's a full buyout. That's a work for hire contract. They give back some permissions, like the ability to like make prints, which a lot of artists would say like it's not really abusive. You can make prints. Nowadays,
you can't make anything else, right? Like playmats, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, back in the day, they didn't allow playmats because all the playmat licensing was tied up with Ultra Pro. But they've managed to untangle that a little bit, and I've heard of rates that are a lot. I don't want to blow up anybody's spot. I've heard some rates from people who still work for them that sound a lot higher than what I used to, even for like lower end stuff. And then they've got like different rates for projects where the no prints are allowed. Like if you're doing one of their like crossovers with like an IP that like they don't have the rights to be able to hand you for prints, they give you a little bit more money for those too. So if you're working on like the people who did like the Lord of the Rings cards, I think got a little more money because they can't make prints of those cards. It's not a split licensing deal. It varies a little bit, and it is work for hire. They own the copyright, and like they have the ability to like they have all the control over it. It's something I've been talking about for a long time, criticizing because it doesn't need to be that way, but they would like it to be that way because, they're owned by $1 billion toy company with tons of lawyers. And there's no union for illustrators. And if there was an illustrators union, then they would probably address that. That'd probably be on the list of demands for the very first contract. But there's been no push to unionize in the time where I've been an illustrator, and so it's been up to every individual person to make the choice on whether or not they want to take these abusive contracts or not. And for me, I said a long time ago I didn't want to do it anymore. And for the last 10 years, I haven't been taking contracts like that unless it's got a big paycheck attached to it. And for everybody else, it's up to them. Like some people have figured out a way to make it work. And some people, they do it even though it doesn't work for them because they prefer it that way. They want to be a part of the project regardless of the money. And, it's a personal choice. But you got to know, those rights are valuable. The minimum is $1K per card now, which is where it's been for a bit. I'd heard some rates of individual cards that were higher than I'd ever heard of before, like maybe into the 3K range, which is, to me, seems like a lot.
Imagine that would be like a Planeswalker or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, like I got paid like 2K for like Planeswalker art back in the day, but I think there's some stuff that goes up a little higher these days. It depends on the set. It depends on the card. I don't know, man. Like
inflation's hit hard in the last 10 years. Sorry.
Yeah, the recession's hit hard. Yeah, the Magic the Gathering's only made $1 trillion in the past few years. They can't afford more than $1,000 a card.
If you think about it, those 2K probably it's like 20,000 right now. With the price of X and everything.
Yeah, who knows? So it's like I don't want to criticize anybody who's like saying yes to those contracts, especially since like everyone I know wants to do at least one card, right? Like regardless of the pay, you want to be able to check that box. So I've known plenty of artists that have been like, I don't care what they pay, I just want to check that box. And like, I imagine even if they were to offer you to do a card and they said we aren't going to pay you $5, like you'd be like, I can bust this out. Like to be on a Magic card.
I'm like, I still haven't done it for them, and if they were like gonna really lowball me on it, I'd still be like, okay, you get one.
You get one.
Yeah, you get one because I got friends and they need their art proofs. They want it. So.
They want, yeah. I want to say I did it. I'll do the one. Yeah.
Okay, there's one reason I really want to do this. Okay, guys, I want to be able to when I'm meeting someone at a networking event, I want to be able to pull out my card and say, "Here's my card," and it's the fucking Magic card.
Yeah, Pen Zinc is saying if you're doing art, there's more money. If you're doing traditional paintings, that's true. The original market for Magic cards in some cases can be really lucrative. There's a period in 2020 where it got outlandish. Like everybody who was making like traditional paints for Magic was having collectors. The prices on these things skyrocketed all at once. And a bunch of artists got big old paydays. What was crazy was a bunch of digital artists were actually going back and repainting their old digital paints traditionally and selling those for big bucks even. They weren't even like...
I've seen a couple people do that lately.
Yeah. So that's become more of a thing even. So I had a guy who like runs a game store. He's like, how many cards do you do? I was like, I don't know, 50. And he like almost fell over. He's like, you could be making so much money if you just repaint those in acrylic. And I'm like, I don't want my job to be repainting old Magic card art.
Repainting on my that sounds
I'm
terrible.
like, that's to me feels like depressing. Like I'm just going to repaint old gaming art exactly the way it used to be from a decade ago, and that's my job, full-time job now. Like to me, it wasn't a question of like, would it make money, but is this the job that I want? Which I'm privileged enough to be in a position to actually ask, what job do I want, rather than what can I do to make money right now. But there's a lot of like ins and outs and what have yous when it comes to something like Magic the Gathering because of the large fan base. I really wish they wouldn't rely on the fan base to pay the artists because they are an incredibly rich company that makes incredible profits. Like they have the funds to do it. It's just there's no negotiating power on behalf of the artists to make a difference. Which is something that they could.
With their blunders they've had in the last couple of years, I'm hoping they'll lose their market dominance a little bit and have to start getting more competitive.
I don't think that helps. If they go out of business, it doesn't help anybody. Like it's like them stumbling and making less money just gives them more credence to stop paying people. You know, so it's like I with everything that's been going on with like the WGA and like the writers' strike and the actors' strike and everything, I just want artists to be inspired to realize that they have the power to do the same thing. I know there's a lot of debate about it. I'm rooting for the artists to just fucking unionize, and you know, and use that as a tool to address things like, you know, giant companies refusing to pay residuals or having abusive contract terms, and then also having a real negotiating chip when it comes to like AI usage. Like I feel like that's the path forward. So that's my rant on that, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I'm going to wrap this stream up because we're past 3 hours, and we got to raid somebody.
K guy.
What's up?
Here in Discord, the Min K guy here in Discord. He actually mentioned that like artists in China are like unionized. China is always like held up as this example of like horrible working conditions of the oppressed masses or whatever here in like, you know, North America. But apparently the artists there have unions. What the hell? How are we getting screwed so bad?
How is it that wait, you're telling me that the fucking Chinese artists have unions and America they're like no, we can't do it? Give me
apparently that's what Min K said. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know anything about it. We gotta do the giveaway. We gotta do a giveaway, and then we gotta do a raid, and then I gotta get out of here. All right. So I'm getting a reminder about doing the giveaway. But sir, China bad. Oh, okay, listen. No one's beyond criticism here, but also we have to give a nod. If the Chinese illustrators have managed to pull off a union, thank you, kind people. You're doing great work over there with that. Like that's awesome. We should have more unions. I'm not here to get super political about stuff, but I believe that. All right, now I've forgotten where I'm supposed to go to make this thing happen. Let's see, stream elements, giveaway. Did I have a tab open? Where does the tab go? God damn it! All right, thanks so much for sharing your work. You pronounce your name Hosu?
Thank you for it, Josue.
Josue, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I have a feeling I'm going to see you around.
Yeah, you will.
Okay,
for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I've got to close all my tabs to figure out where the fuck this giveaway thing is. I wanna make this happen. It's not in this Chrome tab. Stream elements giveaway. Wasn't that one? I think I managed to close it before and get rid of it because I'm awesome at streaming. Okay. How's it going, Ash? You excited? We're gonna give away a tablet today.
Well, what the heck? How did I not hear about this? What kind of tablet?
I'm just putting my own money into it. I'm just like I want to do it. I want to do a giveaway every Friday for community days.
That's so cool.
And so I'm gonna try to do different things on different days. Today we're giving away an XP pen. Let me pull up the Amazon thing here. Nothing too fancy, but if you if you're in Twitch chat and you which one is it? It's the one I'm advertising. It's the one I've got in the digital art resources tab on huckleberry.art. We're giving away one of these. It's the large size, 6x10. It's really similar in terms of like what it does to the tablet that I use, and so I just want to invite somebody who currently doesn't have one of these to play around with to get it in their home so they can give it a shot and follow along with like dailies and learn how to make digital art. I'm going to get this giveaway up here in just a second. So if you are somebody who would like one of those, I just need to set to make sure ticket cost is 0, maximum number of tickets per user is 1. There's no extra benefits to being a subscriber. Create and start. Okay, so we're gonna run this for a couple of minutes, and if you want one of these things, just go ahead and enter. Just hit follow the instructions there in Twitch chat. It says !ticket 1 to buy 1 ticket. Yeah, you got to do ticket 1. I think. Dustin, is this working? It's showing tickets purchased 0. Say ticket 1 to buy 1 tickets, cost 0 points. I'm seeing the giveaway is saying that there are 0 purchased, 0 entrants. Lol. Yes. LOL. We don't know how to do any of this shit. We're terrible at streaming. It's totally fine. We'll figure it out. No winners yet. Is there a public page we can see for this? What's going on? You currently have 0 points. Community giveaway. Buy tickets. Buy ticket number 1. If any of you guys know why this isn't working, feel free to shout it out. It's set to sub only. Oh my fucking god. Really? Did I do that again? I suck so bad at this. Okay, I'm setting this up again. We're doing this again. I'm going to get it this time. I'm going to make sure that this giveaway happens. When we're like good at this, we're going to do these and they're going to work so good every week. It's going to be so good. Set image. XP pen. Got it. Give everyone their first ticket for free. It wasn't set to subscribers only. I didn't click that. I didn't click it. Ticket cost 0. Maximum number of tickets per user 1. You guys can see this, right? Let me see. Make sure I've got my OBS. You guys can see this. I'm not screwing this up, right? I'm not screwing it up. All right. Looks right to me. All right. Well, Double John, it's your fault if this doesn't work. All right. Let's try this one more time. Ticket cost is 0 points. Ticket 1. Come on, Stream Elements. Oh my god. What is the Twitch lingo for like this is so cringe. This is so cringe what's happening right now. Is this really not working? Share it on the public page. Here, I'm going to link to this in the chat. Is the bot command correct? I don't know. The thing that pops up from Stream Elements has the bot command in it. Jeddah Sith, thank you so much for the sub. This is great. You can get more excellent content like this by subbing to the channel, guaranteed. Somebody figured out how to purchase a ticket. Okay. Somebody's in. 2 people are in. We're getting people who are submitting to this thing.
I am buying all the tickets.
You're buying all the tickets? You can't apply. You have a tablet. If maybe somebody's got a crappy tablet that they want to get a new one. This is a 6x10. This is about the same size that I'm using. You can see it on my desk. Battery-free pen. These things work like magic. I'm going to get an XP pen so I can try it out because I want to see whether or not this is the sort of thing that we're going to be doing way more of. Dustin's saying, oh, it was the link. You need to sign into Stream Elements to buy tickets through the link provided. Okay. We're going to let people go through all the forms and stuff so they don't get locked out because they were late. They were too slow signing up for freaking Stream Elements, and we're going to use a different system next week because I would love it where people could just like smash in like a thing into the chat and get entered to win, because like I want it to be easy for people to get free stuff from. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna promote this on Twitter. I'm gonna say you guys come and join chat right now, and you can get yourself a free XP pen. So we're gonna. I should have run this for the last half hour or whatever, but instead, oh, and Arena's Arts, just subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much, Arena's Arts. Damn, we got a ton of subs today. What's going on with you guys? Did I say something that made everyone really happy? What's going on? What's happening? I feel like Mark Wahlberg over here. Arcane Cluster X. Oh, no, Dreskia. We missed one of W, LOL. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that some people miss it, but this is the new thing, and instead of it being once a week, it's going to be every weekday. And it's me and a whole new cast of characters, like Ash over here.
Yeah, I'm the kooky new character that's going to get canceled.
You're the Poochie the dog of the 1FW extended universe.
From the Simpsons, the dog.
Yeah.
Poochie. I'm Poochie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't be at home to be like running the giveaway.
No, it's okay. But this is like why I wanted to do it today.
Blow dried and colored.
What?
I'm like here at my friend's salon getting my hair blow dried and colored while like I'm watching the stream.
It's fine. This is why we're doing it, because we need to fail at this stuff if we're going to do it right. Because if we were to like hype it up and then it would fuck up, that would be really bad. So, you know, we'll just figure this stuff out now, and then we're going to be good at it in a couple of weeks. It'll be all right.
Yeah, it's acceptable for the 10th day that you're streaming.
All right, this isn't a failure. I call it a raging success. And the friendships made along the way count for a lot of it.
Twitch. This is a reason why people might want to subscribe to me on X.com, the future of internet banking.
Oh, no.
Perhaps the real success was the dope vampires guys drawn while blind along the way.
I mean,
I didn't
that's
see that, by the way.
that's so crazy. That like
No, it's not.
like be like, this one's not that good. I painted it while I was blind. I'm gonna tell that to people. I'm just gonna lie to people and tell them that half of my paintings were done while I was blind. Just to impress people. I'm just gonna become less like a total like huckster. And I'm gonna start telling them like I painted stuff with my toes and like that.
You gotta pick certain ones to say you did while blind, so it seems more believable.
The
like,
really
there's a
good
clear
ones, only the
timeline.
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just do stop motion, so it looks like you do the thing. You just have to stop every frame, like, as it goes along the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add, for anyone who's coming in just now, I'm gonna add the link to the giveaway. This is the link.
Post the link again. Yeah,
posting the link again to the giveaway. You can go in there. You can get free tickets. I'm not selling paid tickets. It's a maximum of one ticket. It's free. It's just a free giveaway. No sign up necessary. And then we're going to be giving away something every. The plan is to give it away every Friday. I want to do community days where we look at people's art. We talk to people about their art. Look at stuff that's on the Discord. And then, you know, at the end of the stream, we're going to give something away. It's going to be something that people want, whether it's digital art tools, traditional art stuff, or who knows, maybe some actual art from somebody who's good at art. Oh, those sessions would be Patreon only for sure. There's no Patreon yet. We're going to set up, like, this month I want to set up a place for people to subscribe to Huckleberry. Then it's just going to be, we're going to try to just have some, like, little aesthetic perks where you just get, like, a different color name on the Discord or whatever. Like, really simple, basic stuff for, like, $5 a month just to support the project. And then obviously anybody who wants to like sub on Twitch is also welcome as well, and we'll figure out what we can do. I was just making Twitch emotes last night so that we had some custom emotes for the channel. And it's not really like new streams of income so much as like for Huckleberry, what I want to do is like start getting. Huckleberry has its own like bank account and corporate like entity and stuff already, and so we want to start building out like a video library, an on-demand educational video library and resources and stuff. Some of that is things that I'm going to be building from the ground up myself, and other parts of it is stuff where we are going to be investing in it, like hiring people to make content for us. And so the money that's coming in right now is just going to go right back into people's pocket, other artists' pockets to like do work for the project. So it's going to be us just like reinvesting in the thing and making it bigger and better. So if anybody is like, supporting it early on through like these subscriptions we're going to be selling, that money's all just going to go into like hiring artists to make educational content for the thing, which is, or if there's something out there that someone's already made, we might even license some stuff that's already there. We're figuring it out. This thing's all brand new, but the plan is to like continue to just invest in this thing, and then someday down the line we're going to have like, not only we're going to have these public activities and stuff on the Discord, but we're also going to have like classes that people can take, educational content that people can subscribe to, and like a whole suite for like somebody to have an online education. And yeah, that's we're working on it. And in the meantime, we're going to be just like hanging out and making stuff together and like learning by doing. And it's been really fun for me. I feel a little bit guilty because I've been focusing on the part where it's like hanging out in public places, working on art, having fun, getting better at it, instead of like building content I can sell. But that's we're gonna start with all the free stuff, and like that the Dustin there, no response, has a link to the giveaway. I'm going to cut it off at 10 minutes and do a drawing. We've got 19 submissions. One of you guys is going to get a free tablet. So I'm going to have to like DM you or something. Shit. We should have next time we do a giveaway, we should make it so people have to fill out some info so we know how to give them what they won.
Usually what happens is people get DM'd on Discord. So I could even look into a giveaway system directly in the Discord server, because that might smooth the process over a little bit.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Because then you can validate that person won, and that's the person who's also DMing you on Discord.
Okay. So all right. So now I need to figure out how to close this thing and accept the winner. Enter giveaway. Where's the where's the non-public part? Is it under my profile here? Dashboard?
Yeah, it should be in your dashboard.
Inside my dashboard, we're doing a tablet giveaway. Edit your stream title. Oh, that's my stream
title. It's under the loyalty, and then giveaway is going to be under loyalty.
Oh my god. Where's loyalty?
Menu on the top left.
Oh, wait. There it is. Giveaways. All right, we got 20 purchased. No winners yet. Close giveaway. Draw a winner. Player wasted. That's actually a person, not just like mark giveaway as complete. Player wasted, you won a free XP pen. Yo, fucking DM me on Discord so I can get your address so I can buy it for you and I'll mail it to you. Oh, that's Alejandro? Awesome. Yeah, DM me on Discord and I will get your address and I will get you that XP pen. Yeah, congrats.
Dude, awesome. Which, by the way, Alejandro, I haven't forgotten you. I was going to look at your picture in a bit. It's going to happen.
I'm waiting to see the DM pop up. Do you just DM me to, like, while I'm still live, confirm that you're able to DM me and everything's good so that I can I can confidently say that who won the thing is getting the thing. And then we're gonna be doing as soon as I can get that confirmed, we're gonna go and do a raid. A message requests. Awesome. Would it work to send this to a friend who doesn't have a tablet? Absolutely. Okay, great. So now we're going to do a raid. Dustin was recommending that we raid over to... Oh my God, I lost the link. I am totally going to get a third monitor set up. Aaron Blaze. I recognize this icon. Awesome artist. Awesome artist. Is he live right now? Oh, he's offline. We waited too long to get the raid going. Our friend from yesterday, he's got two first names. I forgot what order they're in. Nelson Blake II. Are you live right now? Can we raid you? You said we should raid you. That's a me. Okay, can we raid you? Do we slash? Nelson Blake's got a lot to say. Raid has been created. Nelson Blake too. We had a whole huge discussion yesterday that was like really exciting. It took over a huge portion of the stream, but it was really, really good. So yeah. Head over there and give Nelson some love. Rating now. Awesome. And that's it for me today. Thank you everyone for showing up. I'm gonna be back to doing studies and chit-chatting while doing studies on Monday. And then we're gonna be back with more community content on Friday. We're going to be setting up some new stuff on the Discord to be able to kind of organize the ways in which people can like do art on Huckleberry so that they can like track their progress over time and like participate in organized events and things like that. I have a feeling that stuff's all going to be working out next week. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.